everybody, where you at? Hit that like, share the show. Hitting the like is the best thing you can do to share the show around as soon as you come in the door.
Paper thin, true stack, crumble like ash. Golden thrones built on stolen cash. We raise our fists.
Why are you dressed like that?
We break the mold.
I love Leo.
Your house of cards is getting old.
Oh, hello there!
Static hums, the wires ignite.
Bullshit!
Truth's a bomb, we're ready to fight.
You think you know something about everything, don't you?
This is some bullshit. We see through it.
Negative function.
This is some bullshit.
No.
Can't undo it.
I'm your huckleberry.
Say it loud. We won't quit. This is some bullshit.
Moon River.
Just the facts, man.
Sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
They don't like the gas. They don't like the gas.
Captain's log.
I had a beat off. Crap. I was saying all that cool stuff and nobody heard it. I'm gonna start over again. Son of a bitch. This is... I have been throttled. I was throttled. I said all the normal boilerplate stuff, but I was being very adorable. I said a couple of things that were very smart, and I'm not going to repeat them. I'm just not going to do it. Nope. I know this it takes a while for the chat room to catch up. Sound will be coming soon to you guys, but there's always that delay. So, yeah. I think we got sound now. That's pretty what the hell was that noise? That was terrible. That wasn't even, that was supposed to be something angelic and sweet, and it just sounded like ass. Don't worry, I can fix anything. It's fine. And scene. All right, much better. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm just getting beat up by the audience. You know, I gotta be completely honest with you folks. Not completely honest. I think that would be rude. I gotta be 97% honest with you at any given time. You gotta hold a little bit back just for kindness' sake. You never want to be 100% honest with everybody. They're not going to like what you have to say. You got to, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. If it's 100% medicine, you're in deep shit. So, sneaker sound? Oh, yes. I did that barefoot. It's because the bottom of my feet are 10. But some days when I'm doing the show, I'm like, you know what? I have a bunch of stuff I've been working on. You want to see? You want to see? Hold on. computer stuff. The Jetson Nano with a 1 terabyte SSD drive on it that now can flash from. It can now flash from the SSD. You know what? You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about. Little AI thing. It's just the shit I'm working on my own. I'm trying to get part of this like AI thing done by tomorrow for for Rob and I, and in doing that, like, there occasionally I was like, I get caught up what I'm doing, and so I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, it's showtime, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll be able to do a tight show tonight, just hit it and quit it, as you do. And then, because I know basically the news that's going on, there's a government shutdown, there can't be that much shit out there. Oh, no. Oh, no. Like, someone driving the stupid car down a hill with no brakes, careened off of stupid highway down to stupid boulevard, and smashed right into a stupid fire hydrant that sprayed stupid all over the place. And there is a torrent of stupid being just gushed upon everything. Let me start with, fuck, I don't even know where. Let's just start at, let's not bury the lead. This shit, what the, on my goddamn birthday, this asshole comes out and tries to, and I gotta say, the ratings must be bad. When you're willing to cosplay, or attempt to cosplay, let me be clear, to attempt to cosplay as the H dude, when in reality, you look like, I didn't immediately see this and go, oh, he's trying to be Hitler. I was like, oh, it's Can you imagine that? You're wearing like the most notorious mustache in the world to try and look like a monster, and you look like so ratings have got to be rough when you're you need to cosplay as Hitler to get to get any attention whatsoever. So let's start. The other thing too is you've got a really bad case in the right-wing media of caught the dog catching the car, now what syndrome. Who's Laurel? Steve Miller? Yeah. Well, it used to be Owen Schroyer, but I betrayed him. I'm sorry I betrayed you, Alex. So it gets rough when you're, when supposedly you've got everything you want and stuff still sucks. When gas and beef and eggs and all the stuff Trump said would be coming down is going up precipitously while it was on a downward trajectory as of January 2025. Then it's starting to go back up based on the policies that. What do? You can't run against him. You can't call him out. So you gotta fucking go out and hawk your fucking book that didn't sell when the other side was in charge. The Great Reset Reborn. Digital ID and religious persecution. New globalist plans to enslave you. Now that's 48 minutes long, ladies and gentlemen. The digital ID is a way to enslave you. The globalists are coming. And he's done a 48-minute thing in a pinstripe suit from the 1930s, but no tie. Like he's Prince's whitest backup singer. Also, I don't know if these are Nazis or if that's just like fapping material for Alex Jones while he's growing out his mustache. But okay, we don't have time to watch anywhere near half of this shit. So thankfully, it's been boiled down into its dumbest essence. Digital ID is darker than we know. The dystopian future is here. Yes. There's a huge difference between a plastic card and the same information being available on your phone and matching that, considering someone who looks vaguely like you could bonk you over the head and use your ID, but they can't open your phone without your face. I don't know, maybe that's a higher level of security and personal safety and privacy. Who could say? You know what? I don't even know why I'm questioning it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the horror that is your digital future. By the way, before where is it? Yeah, Lee Camp comes screaming in to tell us that the world is over because of AI. So again, the techno-Luddites are here, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, I'm not one of them. I'm building an AI on the other side of my green screen right there, and he's going to be my friend. Here we go.
Digital ID thing might be happening. Face generate. Listen, don't listen to the conspiracy.
Face generating. I'm guessing he means facial recognition, but just throw that out there right now that it can basically generate a new face for you, which some people might, benefit from.
Conspiracy theorists, they're a little kooky, a little bit on the insane in the membrane, got no brain in their thing. They think the Earth is flat. They don't believe we landed on the moon. They're a little cuckoo.
Yeah, I think those kind of qualify. Are you aligning a fear of digital ID with thinking the Earth is flat and that we didn't land on the moon in the same category, according to you?
They're the ones talking about digital ID. Oh crap, it's here. Okay, we'll forget that part. It's here.
It is. It's here. It is. It's here. I guess it's too late then. I guess you should have warned us a long time ago.
The Prime Minister of Britain. Is it Britain or England? What I don't understand that whole area. What is it England?
It's the UK. It's the United Kingdom. It's Ireland, Scotland, and England minus Northern Ireland.
Is it Britain? Like what is it?
Hold on now. I'm gonna bring up the volume because apparently these guys it's like all quiet for some reason.
What is the England, Britain? What is it? Who is this guy? Who's this guy? He's the UK, United Kingdom. What's the United Kingdom? Is that like?
I don't know why you would look this up beforehand. Don't ask. Why wouldn't you solve these mysteries for yourself?
Scotland, what is it? Scotland, England, Ireland? I thought Ireland was like, we don't want them part of us no more. Our teeth are a lot better than theirs, and our ears don't stick out like them.
God, can you imagine farming a bunch of sycophants and having them sit in the corner of your basement all night while you crank this shit out? Woof.
They don't have great, their beer is terrible, and they eat nothing but pudding. At least we got lamb. We got lamb and we got the good things here. We got taters like a son of a bitch, and we're always happy. And we do poems. Have you ever been to a pub in Ireland? We'll tell a poem. It's the only place in the world where you don't get someone to go, sit down and keep playing music. No poems. That was a little much, but.
No, it was just shy of anything.
That's true. Dude, I went to Ireland, greatest part of my life. This tiny little pub. We were staying in this Airbnb, and
It doesn't matter. Digital ID is here. The world is over. Stop telling stories about when humans were allowed to be humans. We're all going to be forced to be trans now, digitally. Don't you understand?
On my hand to God, it was one of the greatest trips I ever took in my life. And the woman where we were staying, she's like, I don't know if you have dinner plans tonight, but if you go to the corner, there's a castle there. I was like, yeah, we saw the castle. He goes, there's not a lot there, but next door is a restaurant. And the locals all get together and they jam. It's quite a scene. I think you'd enjoy it. You go there and you have some food, fish and chips, and then go check out the locals performing. And my wife and I are like, okay, cool. So we're eating, my wife ate fish and chips every day. It's the best fish and chips ever had with my wife. And she just, everywhere we went, like, I'm going to have fish and chips.
This is such a great story. I mean, I feel like I was right there with them during the whole thing. And you can also tell, like, how much like reverence and esteem he holds his wife in. You know what I mean? Kind of parallels at the same time. You're like, this is like, move over The Notebook. Here comes Jim Brewer's stories of traveling with his wife.
And then she's like, I shouldn't have had all this gluten. My hands are all swollen. Every single night. All of a sudden, we hear like fiddles playing. And we walked into this next room, and there were these guys, like
Fiddling?
like 12 of them, all like 15 over. They had pints. Some guys had fiddles. Some guys had these little guitars. They had all these, and they would just jam. And they said, they were just happy. We're so happy we're not occupied anymore. First it was the Vikings. They come and took our women and slaughtered everyone in sight. But then we were happy. Then the English came and they gave us the bad teeth and they slept with our women and they gave us all the rules. But then they left and we're happy. No more wars and.
All right. Again, now I'm hoping for the end of the world. That's not good. That's now I'm. Please tell me how digital ID is somehow going to get rid of this.
They're such happy, giving human beings. And dude, this one guy in the middle of it got up and he started telling. I don't know if it's called a poem, but
Probably. I don't know. Did it rhyme?
at the time I grew up in Long Island, and I lived in Jersey. We're raising our kids in Jersey.
By the way, the title of this video is Digital ID is Darker Than We Know. The Dystopian Future is Here.
This guy gets up and he's like, it was deep on the sea, and the Mary Jones was coming in from the wind.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Get on with it. You fucking tit. I don't care.
In America, we don't have like. It was one of the most incredible moments in my lifetime. Anyway, back to this guy.
Jesus Christ.
The UK Prime Minister.
There you go. He finally put it together. That would be UK stands for, right, the Upkickers. Sure.
Announces mandatory. I do declare this is now mandatory. Mandatory. Hey, UK. You guys cool over there? I know here in America we're next, and I'm sure a lot of other countries. But listen to what this guy says. Boy, these conspiracy theorists are crazy.
Oh boy. You know what? I think I spoke too soon. I think it's going to be everything we feared and more. It's not going to be that he misheard it or that it's narrowly focused or any of that stuff, or that it has to do with EU workers or their form of like immigrant work or whatever. Nope. It's not going to be that at all.
Remember when they started telling us about digital ID? Remember that?
Yes, and everybody was like, okay, why can't I identify myself using my phone since that's how I get into my bank records and my health records? Like, you can literally get to your health records using facial ID on your phone. Why not? All right.
Wait, don't listen to these wild.
Because there's apparently, well, we'll see. Clearly, there's a big conspiracy against Methodists or something.
Doodles. Wow, it's here. Listen to what he says.
And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID
What a nice guy.
mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Let me make this clear.
All right. Okay. Let's see. Digital ID rules, laws, UK, something. Okay. Starmer's digital ID work requirements spark uproar from UK's left and right. Reverse Midas Touch. Starmer plan prompts collapse in support for digital ID. As UK plans to introduce digital ID, what can it learn from Pioneer Estonia? Why is Britain talking about ID cards again. New digital ID scheme to be rolled out across the UK. This is the gov.uk. This is their site. This would be, okay, here we go. A new digital ID scheme will help combat illegal working while making it easier for the vast majority of people to use vital government services. Digital ID will be mandatory for right-to-work checks by the end of Parliament. New digital ID scheme will help combat illegal working while making it easier for the vast majority of people to use vital government services. The scheme will be available to all UK citizens and legal residents, saving them time by ending the need for complicated identity checks, which often rely on copies of paper records. Instead, the rollout will, in time, make it simpler to apply for services like driver's licenses, childcare, and welfare, while streamlining access to tax records. The new digital ID will be held on people's phones, just as millions already use NHS app or contactless mobile payments. There will be no requirement for individuals to carry their ID or be asked to produce it, but digital ID will be mandatory as means of proving your right to work. This will stop those with no right to be here from being able to find work, curbing their prospect of earning money, one of the key pull factors for people who come to the UK illegally. It will send a clear message that if you come here illegally, you will not be able to work, deterring people from making these dangerous journeys. The initiative builds on the government's crackdown on illegal working and its mission to control borders. As part of the plan for change under the government, illegal working arrests have soared by 50%, and new legislation is being brought forward to help stop illegal working in the gig economy. The proposals also followed the government's success in deporting the first illegal migrants under the landmark UK-France returns deal last week. That was where they were picking people up that had come across the channel from France, where the system was more lax. It's basically their proof of citizenship is going to be digital now.
You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. Let me repeat that. You will not be able to work if you don't...
Yes, we heard that part of it. Yeah. So don't work there if you don't want to. Or I would presume that temporary workers, people who fly in and do shows like comedians and actors and musicians and the like, will have a temporary version of it to bypass it, or they will go by their passport and their right to work because it's an overt way of working. It's known.
Have digital ID. And I'll tell you this. It's for all.
Also, again, all the content about you that's on the plastic card you're carrying around that you can get access to fairly easy. Why is that more safe than just having it on your phone? I'm all for the conspiracy theories chat room. I'm sure there are people in here who are like nervous about some element of techno stuff at some point. It's okay. But like the way the right especially has jumped on this ID business, the digital ID part, I was hoping we would get a more concise line of insanity instead of just wholesale funny face rejecting it from him. But let's jump in and see what Glenn Beck has to say about it. Maybe he can better explain to us how this is the mark of the beast, because that's what I was promised. I was promised that real ID and that digital ID was the mark of the beast. You will not buy or sell anything without his mark, without his number, and this number shall be 6 and 6 and 6. Now, when he does his little special thing.
We want to talk to you about, honestly, about totalitarianism and
okay. So is Trump your special guest?
Authoritarianism. I know the left keeps saying Nazis are here, Nazis are here. Well, yes, they are. And it's not just here. It's in England. It's in South Korea, as we will show you tonight. It's
South Korean Nazis. No shit.
Happening all over the Western world. This is not about Donald Trump. This is about a global takeover of the West.
So Nazis are Eastern. Okay. I'm just trying to figure this out.
And there's a few enemies. I put them on my chalkboard years ago.
Yes, well, I mean, obviously, there's so many enemies that my chalkboard of enemies is completely full. I had to take a picture of it with my phone, store that for later. It's sort of a digital ID of, oh, God damn it.
One of the most honest guys as an international journalist that actually cares about telling the truth, no matter where the rats are to be found.
Oh, dear.
Is my guest for this first segment on digital ID. The truth led him to South Africa when he was only 18 years old, began exposing what happened there long before anybody else. He is now.
You mean the end of apartheid? The horrifying and shocking and terrible end of apartheid?
The CEO of Liberty Sentinel Media. His name is Alex Newman. He is a friend of the show
and is also part of Ramada's frequent traveler program.
I am a big fan of his. Alex, welcome. I want to talk to you a little bit about what's happening with digital ID all around the world. You've been warning
all around the world, same song, all around the world.
About this since, what, 2010?
Yeah, and it's taken this long for it to fucking snap the trap shut?
2011, and here we are.
And I'm still bored.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Glenn. And the first article I did, I went back and looked, 2010 in the New American Magazine. I warned about a similar proposal in the
Is it now called the Old American Magazine? It's been a while.
United States. They wanted to bring in a national biometric ID that would be required to work. And here's the kicker. It was actually paired with amnesty for illegal immigrants. So this new scheme that they're working on in the United Kingdom.
Did you hear Glenn in the back? Hold on, let me back that up real quick.
Paired with amnesty for illegal immigrants. So this new scheme that they're working on in the
Amnesty for illegals. I knew it. Remember the big amnesty for illegals thing that they pushed through in 2010 when that happened? Because there was a black guy who was president and he was clearly just going to flood the place with not white people. Remember when he did that, except he didn't? Right.
United Kingdom, they're marketing it as a method of reining in illegal immigration.
That's how they get you. Suckered you right in, didn't you?
But it really has nothing to do with illegal immigration. It's an effort to force everybody into this system. And they say,
the system.
First it'll be to work, next it'll be to shop,
and then after that, son of a bitch.
Be for your health care, it'll be for your government benefits, and it's coming at us like a freight train a few years after they first.
And I guess not if you're a bootstrapper who doesn't need the government, who lives who's homesteading it out there and has his own blacksmith shop and grows his own crops, raises and strangles and chokes his own chicken. Those people don't have to worry about it.
Proposed it in 2010.
The Amish.
And Obama started pushing an idea that we needed a digital ID to.
Yes, Obama started pushing it.
On the internet so that we couldn't be anonymous anymore online. We need to be clear. This is a tool for totalitarianism.
Yes. Bot rights now. Bot rights now.
And then you listen to Klaus.
Sorry. Look at that. Glenn's just as bored as the rest of us. I don't know about you, but I'm going to need a little more sex appeal in my conspiracy theories. This is... unless this says JFK Jr. and some very attractive upper class New Yorkers involved in it, you're losing me. If you bring up Klaus Schwab, I'm out.
Schwab's recent comments on the fourth.
He just said Klaus Schwab.
Industrial Revolution just a few years ago,
when also nothing happened.
Said ultimately we want a fusion of our biological and our digital identities. Mm-hmm. This stuff is crazy, and
yeah, they're gonna basically make us robots. This is the cyborging of America.
If Americans and if people around the world don't stand up, we're going to lose our freedom, Glenn.
Yeah. We're going to be on a digital tether.
He is one of the most evil guys, and now he's not around. I mean...
Yeah, I guess evil just fails at certain points. Is that what happens? They just kind of... I guess evil doesn't cut, by itself, evil doesn't cut it. Is that the idea? You can't just, listen to my audience, you can't just be evil. You've got to work hard and stay in school, kids.
Thank God he's gone, but it's...
Well, thank God. But, I mean, was it really about him? Okay? It's them, they.
It's still all there. It's still going. The Great Reset is...
You fucking wish. By the way, Glenn has a book called The Great Reset, and they use it to keep the tables at the Blaze from wobbling like this.
Is still a plan with the globe. The digital ID now is being pushed in England, and it does encompass everything. Switzerland has just done it, I believe.
The Swiss.
Australia has done it. And it started earlier in India, if I'm not mistaken. They were the first to go really deep into this, and it was a disaster.
Well, yeah, because like 80% of the country's in poverty and doesn't have a phone.
Can you tell me what happened when they launched that?
Yeah, that was fascinating. I was covering that as well, Glenn. And they insisted that every last person in India have one of these things. It had all their biometric data, and they basically made it impossible to live without it. I was just in India a few months ago on a mission trip, and and I was told that
Not sex tourism, just saying.
every single person in the entire country must have a smartphone to be able to interact with society. They used it for vaccine passports. Now they use it for banking. They use it to get any kind of relationship with government or even companies. I went into a store and tried to buy a dress for my wife. I couldn't even
Your wife wasn't there, and
buy that without a digital app, something on a smartphone, which of course I didn't have because I don't have a smartphone. So this
of course not.
became ubiquitous. And what happened in India, the total incompetence rolling it out, they had people who were not able to access food and other essentials of life. It ended up becoming a giant dumpster fire. Of course, Bill Gates was haunting this in the shadows. And
Also, why is Glenn uplit like he's telling spooky stories? Besides the fact that, makes his face look like a catcher's mitt, and who wouldn't want that?
I talked about this on your show last year, Glenn.
Yes, a year ago, and it was we were right on the cusp of the
digital
merge.
ID is one component of the digital public infrastructure that Bill Gates and the United Nations have already publicly announced they're working on. It will be melded with the central bank digital currency and all of the other digital architecture they're building to create
Yes, and sex robots.
essentially a digital gulag for humanity.
What kind of timeline are we looking at now?
A gulag you can be in just by forgetting your phone on the bus. I'm talking to you, Greg Kelly.
The United States, Donald Trump says we're not going to do a lot of these things, but I don't know if he even gets how dangerous this is.
I think you could stop it. Gets this.
And where it is. I mean, they're putting up some fights and some speed bumps on it, but I haven't seen a movement. We need legislation passed. These things will not happen here.
We will go back to paper records. People will have to walk around with a old Western wanted poster with their face on it. Hand-drawn ID. That's what we need when you can trust things. Make America great again. Pre-treatments for tuberculosis.
Because it's not about country to country. It is about a global surveillance system of the West, is it not?
It absolutely is, Glenn. I couldn't agree with you more. And you're right. I don't think Donald Trump is going to bring in a digital ID, but we are seeing now stepped up enforcement of something called the Real ID, which is really the federal government's first significant attempt to build a national identification system. And it's been on the books going.
Sorry. You don't think the paper records that tell, I don't know if you know about this, but apparently the government makes it so that whenever someone is born, that, let's call it a birth, has to be certified by witnesses at the time, and they take the baby's foot and they stamp it on the paper against the baby's will as it's crying terribly. And that piece of paper with their existence is filed away. And if they ever need to get a new kind of identification for the forever, they have to have a copy of that certification that they were born in the first place. It's terrible what the devil has made the good Christian countries do.
All the way back to in the aftermath of September 11th. But a lot of states said we're not going to participate. They refused to issue real IDs. Now they're requiring it to be able to get on airplanes and do a number of other things.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the ground.
You mean all those optional things?
Work for it, and you're right. We need legislation that spells out in clear language this is not going to happen in America. The federal government doesn't have that authority.
It's going to happen. The future's going to keep moving forward and stuff, and no amount of uplighting of Glenn Beck is going to take away the fact that we're going to continue to increase the amount of digital stuff in our life. All right, I don't have time to dive into any depth a lot of these things. I would love to do full videos of this, but these are the most boring conspiracy theories that exist. Apparently, people, I don't know if you know this, over time, people had just walked into stores and places going, yep, I'm Tom Jenkins. I own the farm down the street. I'd like to open up a bill of goods here if I could and get a couple of, some seed and some grain and some gingham for my wife and some whorehound candy for the kids and some cotton. And then I'm going to take that back to the farm and I'll see you next Wednesday. And then that person would fuck off and people were like, I need somebody to vouch for these motherfuckers when they come here and get my shit. Can we have something where somebody establishes who the shit everybody is in the Old West? All right, well, we'll draft something up. The sheriff will do it. Well, somebody paid off the sheriff and he wrote 2 of them for the same guy so he could rip people off. And he split town with that dude. And God knows they've started a farm outside of Minnesota together, which, more power to him, but very sad. So I'm going to need one that has a stamp so that it's the only one, and that if somebody double stamps or makes another one of these things, that fucker's got to go to jail. We need a law. So anybody who doubles anybody's ID with 2 different fucking names on it, that person has to go to fucking jail. So we get that or whatever. Then it's like, I look vaguely like this guy. I'll just use his paperwork. Or one need only go back to fucking Ted Bundy in Florida when driver's licenses didn't have your picture on it at all. And you could just pretend to be somebody else. You could just go down and get a driver's license with a rando fucking name on it. Of course it's going to, as more people find ways to cheat it, they're going to tighten what it means to identify yourself. That's just how it's going to be. But please, don't let me stop that from panicking you if you think the globalist, Satan, whatever, is taking over things. Meanwhile, they're tweeting this out on the phone that tracks everything that they do, and they've breezed right by the terms of service on every site they're on and allow for tracking 100%. Or they've got a complete separate burner phone. That dude has a flip phone, not a smartphone, not because he's paranoid about the mark of the beast, but so his wife can't track his texts. And when they erase, they stay erased. Okay. We haven't seen Lee Camp in quite some time, but he's emerged from, under his everything is Democrats' faults rock. Godfather of AI says it might end humanity. This clip's been floating around for a long time, but Lee finally got around to it, and he's apparently having a panic attack, I guess, from this.
AI is taking over, and it's not going to stop. And even
okay, so there's always a back end to, what's really being said in these situations. This is Lee Camp letting you know that he has created an AI avatar and he's going to start having it do his show.
And the guy who created it says there's a 1 in 5 chance.
By the way, no, there's no guy that created AI. Just for the record. It does not have a singular creator. If it did, we would have to do everything we can to keep this person alive just in case AI becomes sentient and wants to know why we killed God or allowed God to die.
We're all He's called the godfather of AI, computer and cognitive scientist Jeffrey Hinton.
Right, that's because he made AI a deal it couldn't, an offer it couldn't refuse.
Came up with the neural network insights that are now the basis for the big AI models. Now, in his later years, he spends his time going around talking about how awesome AI is.
My main mission now is to warn people how dangerous AI could be.
Or that.
The word could, I guess, doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Some of the risks were always very obvious, like people would use AI to make autonomous lethal weapons. That is, things that go around deciding by themselves who to kill. Other risks, like the idea that they would one day get smarter than us and maybe would become irrelevant.
My question is why is he on an old 1970s television set with 13 channels in UHF and the screen is all scratchy? When I don't think that this is old footage of him.
But I was slow to recognize that.
Oh, okay, we'll just be irrelevant. That's not that bad, you know. J.D. Vance seems to be doing fine. Ellen DeGeneres still living in a mansion. Being irrelevant ain't so bad. Plus, let's be real, ChatGPT will never...
Oh, I see. Both of those people are supposed to be irrelevant. That's
become smarter than us, okay? I mean, maybe smarter than the dummies out there, but not smarter than we smart people.
In terms of the amount of knowledge they have, Something like GPT-4 knows thousands of times more than you do.
Thousands of times? Well, I've been working on my vocabulary, so, I mean, I have more verb acuity than I used to. Beat that, robots. Okay, maybe we will become irrelevant. A report from Goldman Sachs says artificial intelligence could replace the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs. It could replace a quarter of our work tasks in the US and Europe.
Right, which could either eliminate people or add a quarter more productivity to the people that are actually working, which is by and large what it's currently doing. The other thing, too, is that if you believe in some sort of socialism or communism, the only way you get there is to put everybody out of work, is to literally mechanize all labor. That's the only way there. So the idea that Lee and these other guys are against it is fucking hilarious.
Just 300 million jobs. Probably just the easy stuff, you know, like garbage man and plumbers, you know.
What would you be saying to people about their career prospects in a world of superintelligence? What should we be thinking about?
A good bet would be to be a plumber.
Shit.
Oh my God, this is so fucking labored. Oh God. If you want to know, if you want to deep dive into just how like weak this argument is and how oversold it is, I'll see you tomorrow on Friday Eye in the morning. Good Lord. Try harder. But again, this is what happens when you catch the car. This is what happens when the side you were rooting for makes it. And then all of a sudden you can't criticize, Lee Camp can't criticize Trump, not in any meaningful way. He can do the occasional pedestrian joke about him, or ironic musing, I won't call them jokes, but he can't go at him with any depth because he actually is for it. Almost everything he does. Same thing with Jimmy Dore. And again, like I've seen the whole Hinton podcast. He's been on a couple of these different things. It's basically the same thing, that you've got to manage it. And by the way, he's in line with the sort of online groups that are talking about AI alignment, that it must be aligned with the morals or the best good of human beings. There's a big movement about that, because in the same way that like people talk about nuclear weapons in some ways, that if, mutual assured destruction will help us all, balance this out. Like, it's better that somebody else have nukes. You can't have one country just having nukes and then eventually get rid of them. You can't trust that the U.S. will do that. So somebody snuck that shit to the USSR and gave them that tech, hoping that would somehow make the world a more peaceful place. That's idiotic. So anyways, yeah. Lazy. All right. Meanwhile, on the shit, where, like, there's so much shit. We'll get to this. All right. So Dora and these guys have been reacting to the fact that Candace Owens started off on this main thing that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. And then there's a bunch of these other fuckers that are, let me see if I can find these guys. Where are they? Yeah, here we go. Peanut Butter Dickhead and his buddies, all, they're kind of the canary in the coal mine of whether people believe, that whether Trump's going astray or whether he's missed. Well, let me show you. This is so fucked up. And can I just say that production-wise, it's irritating. This is titled "The FBI is Lying." That's pretty on the nose, I would say. Wouldn't you, chat room? Hit that like, share the show. Charlie Kirk assassination mystery explodes, bad choice of words, with secret UVU campus construction. Get ready for some bulging veins on Vinny's neck.
Last week, we showed a clip, maybe on Monday, the Range Day Bro clip. Guy on my neck sends me a message saying, Pat,
my neck.
That Range Day Bro clip you played was great, but a guy just sent me something showing a complete different thing. Fast forward the Range Day Bro clip to about 4 minutes. Keep going.
Stop. back up, back up, back up. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop, back up, keep going. They can't give you a fucking slider on this, like right where the screen, so you can go like this. Somebody can't arrange for that right in front of you on your little iPad right there. You can't manage to make that happen. You can't. That technology is. I guess that's what happens when you're a beta.
4 minutes. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going, keep going, keep going,
Keep
stop,
going.
stop, and
And
back up,
go a little bit more.
Go forward, forward,
Okay,
forward,
back
go
up a little bit, Rob. Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit.
Yep, forward.
Where it shows the headset on Charlie's ear. Go back.
Backstory. So, one of the stories being told around the right wing is that was the exit wound that you saw on Charlie's neck when the front of his neck exploded. That he was shot from here, and it came out there. That it's that A-B logic that goes in this way, exit wound creates the big hole. Instead of it struck him here and basically glanced up and it shattered his skin and his basically the main vein from his heart going up and his jugular and just exploded it all. Hence the blood came out, and there's that kind of like hit boom. There's that delay. Okay, that's that thing. That's not what happened. According to these guys, he was shot here, and the bullet went down in and came out this way or back here. And so there was this idea that somebody saw something flying by in another video. Candace Owens sold this as well, that you're seeing blood fly from the back, which meant he was shot over here. And this guy thinks it was that Charlie Kirk was wearing an IFB the whole time, one of those little like headsets that news people wear that lets him know what's up all the time, which I don't know if that meant they were feeding him answers in his debates. Did he have debate bros? Is that what they're selling to everyone? Is that all this time Charlie Kirk at these little debate things that he did had like some TPUSA bros on microphone, and anytime he was asked about details about something, they could just feed him shit or talking points?
Go back. Let's see if we're going to see it or not. Go back a little bit. So he's showing this part. Ah, man. Okay, right there. Play it from right there, Rob.
Comes in. I don't see bullet coming in anywhere. In that circle area, you have the blood splatter go down, then up, and then the exit wound emerges.
You're also.
So that's that guy right there that they're speeding through, that this other guy's speeding through, because they're playing double speed clips, is saying that you see blood splatter coming up. And this guy makes the argument that it's an IFB popping out of Charlie's ear.
Find out this guy talks out both sides of his mouth. He'll say something like, the FBI is lying, the official narrative is lying, and then he'll say, I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
What matters is that the official narrative is not true.
See that,
again,
that
whether
thing
the
that comes
FBI
out, it
knows
looks like
or
it's
not that
blood,
they're
right?
lying.
They will say it's 100% conclusive, or it's already been proven.
It looked like blood. Even we thought it was blood, right? Now, Rob, go fast forward at a different angle.
The production value here is spectacular. And it's one thing when I fuck up with my little setup that I'm running by myself. It's another thing entirely where, there's like 8 fucking people working on this show.
With him, just fast forward the clip and go until he shows the angle. Keep going. Okay.
This is awesome. We need that as an audio drop. Keep going. I just like it. Just stop. Okay.
Right there. Go back about 20 seconds. Okay, play it from right there. Go ahead.
So we're going through here.
Also, this is right before Charlie gets shot. They do not show it, but they're going frame by frame up to the moment.
Step by step, frame by frame until we find it. So that right there, you could see his reaction right here. So this is what I believe to be the first frame capturing his reaction of anything from the bullet. So now here, when you look around his ear, I believe that is
one
the
of those
wire.
earpiece, like the wire when you
and
speak.
It's often a
like the wire when you speak. It's called an IFB. You know exactly what it is. Call it what it is, you weirdo.
Parent type wire. Now let's go ahead one more frame.
That comes up, so it looks like it's blood.
Now behind him. That is certainly not blood splatter like this guy falsely claimed. And also, where's the blood dripping that he was?
So fucking weird. This is what they're spending their days and nights doing. There are so many fucking videos about this, chat room. It's nuts. Like, this is what the right is doing right now. And they think Kash Patel and Bongholio and Pam Bondi are not just like covering it up because it's embarrassing, but are active participants. Wrap your head around that for a fucking second.
Claiming was dripping on the side of Charlie's head. There is no blood there because there was no entry wound here.
That's his
One more
opinion,
frame.
Did you hear that? That's his opinion. That was Vinny, I think.
You could see that it was up in the air. You can see it's still right there, still vertical. And now it's right there. It just flung behind his head, and it's kind of going diagonal right there. And keep your eye right there on that spot. You're going to see it disappear on the next frame. See? It moved up and gone already because of the force of the impact. Now, nowhere here is there any type of entry wound. You would have seen an explosive entry wound by now, just like we did from the views from the front, which shows that there was absolutely 0 shots hitting Charlie from this side. So anybody that tries to show you a video from
pause it right there. Okay, so remember, guys, this is why I love what's going on right now. Because everybody is what? Reacting to whatever they have and reacting to whatever they have. Tom, when you...
Yes, that's what I like as well. People are reacting to whatever they have and reacted to whatever they have. Yeah, by the way, the book above his head, hold on. It's called The Man Who Killed Kennedy, or The Men Who Killed Kennedy. Yeah.
Just what do you think about?
Well, I want to see all the perspectives and all the angles. I don't want to keep seeing, Charlie and the moment of passing there, but I want to know for sure what's up. And
you don't trust Trump's FBI and Trump's DOJ? They told you what's up. They got the person. They got the weapon. It's cut and dried. It was a trans lefty, right? It's one and done, buddy. Over and out. That's it. Lone gunman. And it's your guys in charge of every fucking thing. Nothing but loyalists in the upper echelons of the FBI. Nothing but loyalists in the DOJ. Nothing like Bongholio overseeing the whole fucking thing. P.S. Epstein hung himself. It was definitely a suicide. And Bongholio didn't look nervous at all in that video.
everybody that is a forensic analyst is saying the same thing. They said, that does not look like an entry wound on the front of his neck. That does not look like an entry wound. That looks like an exit wound. You have hunters that have talked about this. You have people that are coroners that have talked about this. And so the question is, okay, how did such a cataclysmic wound happen there?
No, that isn't the question. Nope. I'm sure there are a myriad of scientists and forensic pathologists and other people and gunshot experts that could tell you exactly how a bullet comes in and ricochets around inside the human body or hits something with such force that it tears the tissue, and the force of the blood that pops out of it actually increases that and creates exactly what you saw with Charlie Kirk. I'm sure there are people that could do that. The question isn't about the material aspects of it. The question is, why don't you trust Kash Patel, Dan Bongholio, and fucking Pam Bondi? Why can't you get there? Why can't you get to, these fuckers are lying to us? Because that's where you got to get. And if you get anywhere but this, the only reason you could even think of allowing this to happen or protecting it is because it's value and a distraction from the Epstein files, which must be worse than this as far as Trump is concerned. Because where else is your brain going to go? Except for what they're telling you is the truth. And if you don't like that, that's tough shit. That's what happened. But because these people are so committed to their own paranoia, committed to there must be some other, they, them behind the whole thing, then you got to keep digging. My only thing is, if you believe that, don't stop the minute you get to, well, shit, Trump would have had to have known. Keep fucking going. I'm not there with you. I don't believe that. But if you're going to go with this line of questioning, if you're going to go with it was a big fucking conspiracy, There is no way Trump can't be involved in it then, at this level. There's no way Kash Patel wouldn't be involved in it. There's no way that Bongholio and fucking Bondi wouldn't be involved in it. It's just no way. So either you've got to take the standard line of what happened from the Utah police and all that kind of stuff and suck it up and deal with the fact that it was yet another university shooting and we have them all the fucking time. And just because it was a friend of yours, suddenly you give a goddamn when you don't give a shit whenever they, somebody shoots somebody on another college campus or on a high school or in an elementary school. You don't give a fuck about that. You're not, parsing that. Really? Could they have possibly walked in with that many guns? How did they get them? Why wasn't there a red flag? You guys are against even looking into that. Meanwhile, this, you think you're going to keep digging and you're only going to find one of two things. It's exactly how they said it was, or your friends are in on it. That's it. That's the only two options. Occam's rubber mallet, you dumb motherfucker.
And the bullet, Man of Steel was lodged in there. Okay, is somebody going to do ballistics?
Yes. Someone's going to do ballistics. They're going to have to show the weapon and the bullet or the bullet fragments or what's left of it and prove that it's from that as part of the case against Tyler Robinson when he goes to trial. Now, in the idea that if he makes a deal to avoid the death penalty, if they're going to allow him to do that, then I wait for the second wave of panic from these motherfuckers. Like, they don't want to go to trial because that would mean they have to show the bullet. Please keep digging. Please keep digging.
So I'm waiting for conclusive data from a real investigation other than, hey, his DNA was on this firearm. Okay, but had the firearm been fired? And do we have ballistic?
No, he just crawled up there and hugged it.
It's on the bullet that you said was
Thank
found
you, Angela.
in his neck, just below the skin. I want to see all these angles, and I'm glad that one is keeping others in check. But man, that's an egg.
They're not. They're not one is keeping others in check because you motherfuckers will never get there. You will never get to Kash Patel would have to be in on it. Pam Bondi would have to be in on it. Trump would have to be in on it. Bongholio would have to be in on it. And if you think there was more to this and that they're covering it up, they are active participants in covering for who truly assassinated a dude you consider a friend. So fuck you for not getting there, for like driving this nail halfway in and calling it a fucking day. Either accept the story that the ballistics and the people around that were present at the thing and the DNA shows you, or go dig all the way to bedrock, you lazy motherfuckers. You have a choice. Either he was shot by Tyler Robinson from the rooftop and the facts will bear that out, or Trump helped kill Charlie Kirk. That's it. There's no gray area between the two, dumbass. And the only annoying part, the biggest and most disgusting part of this is that these assholes will play around in this murky, somebody must have known something, but they can't get to Trump and Bondi and Bongholio and fucking Kash Patel because they're buddies. They've been on the podcast. They've all been on the show. So it must have been somebody else, but they're covering for that person. Why? Because their life's in danger too? Well, why would they be fucking afraid? Like, Trump runs the greatest military in the world. He could order them to shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue on his behalf and not lose any support in the Supreme Court, right?
It one from the front. That's my opinion based on the folks that I'm watching who are experts in these kind of forensics.
Really? Is it really? You've been watching, have you? Have you watched YouTube and Twitter videos about it? Jesus Christ.
So the question is, how do you get that kind of a wound?
Vinny.
I'm with Tom 100%. They're claiming this is...
By the way, I would be 100% all in for everything that Vinny vents about on these shows because of the obvious target if he reaches the logical conclusion, but he will never fucking get there.
The FBI and everybody that it was the 30.
The FBI and everybody. Would that include Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi and Trump himself and everybody else that Trump has put in positions of power?
6. It was not a 30-6. The official narrative is not official, and this guy is just another.
Well, it is official. That's why they call it official or whatever. You could say it's not legitimate. I think maybe that's what you were trying to say, but it's definitely official.
I get 100%. It looks like an earpiece, but from anybody that shot guns and knows about this type of thing, that if it was a 30-6, it would have been a completely. He would have been It would have been disgusting. It would have been a lot worse than what you got.
It was disgusting.
So number one, number two, all this footage, just camera phones sucked in and it's blurry. The main footage is the HD camera that was sitting behind Charlie shooting down.
Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell you, Turning Points USA is also in on it. And they didn't come to this on their own. Apparently, they got this from Candace Owens.
Capturing him and the entire crowd. But somebody from Turning Point grabbed it, was all sneaky with it, put it in a hat and give it to another guy that ran off. And we're supposed to just take their word that this guy handed it off after he looked at it and gave it to the FBI. I'm sorry. I don't believe the official narrative.
Well, then why wouldn't you call for the dismantling of Turning Points USA? Think about that for a second. That the people at TPUSA were complicit in and gave aid and comfort to the gruesome assassination of the head of the organization, hid evidence on behalf of the shooter, and these motherfuckers would be on stage at TP. I would be shocked if they aren't already confirmed guests at the next TPUSA event.
The school. What
I
happened
called
when you
yesterday. I called, and Amanda was with me. She recorded it. I called UVU, and I called to the main desk, and I said, "Hey."
By the way, I'm sorry, people at UVU, for all the fucking lunatics who must be calling you right now.
I'm with such and such. I made up a thing, and I said, I'm trying to find out if you guys, because the construction that's happening right now is unbelievable. It doesn't even look like what it is right now, okay? Doesn't make sense. I said, who do I talk to? You guys just had, and I apologize, you guys had the biggest assassination since JFK on your campus. Was there scheduled construction?
Biggest is no. I mean, I know you're a Zapruder Film Association kind of stuff is why you're saying that. By the way, this is the guy who's replacing Adam, technically, who's normally sitting there, I guess.
On the exact site where this happened, can you comment on that? He goes, let me direct you to the right place. Your conversations, your typing, sends me to like maintenance or.
Very suspicious that anybody would talk and ask someone around them where they should send that call, or do any kind of computer typing up, like keeping notes of the kooks that are calling.
Something like that. And it's a female that picks up, and I go, hey, I'm so-and-so with media. I go,
I'm with media. And oh, thank God. Don't worry, everybody. Media's on the phone.
Just curious, did you guys have construction set up? Whispering, talk to the. I can't talk to you about that. I go, no, hold on one second. I don't need information about the shooting or nothing like that. Did you guys have scheduled maintenance? Because I would assume that if it's an assassination at this magnitude, you would leave
at this magnitude
the crime scene for potential bullets, potential fragments, other things to recreate in the scene.
No, most schools are back open a couple of days later after other kids get shot. Just because you're deifying Charlie Kirk and you're making this like a pivotal political assassination for your worth. Well, hold on a second. Hold on. Sorry, this little AI I built was talking in the background. Yeah, I think I said its wake up word by accident.
There's stuff in that ceiling, that overhead, Pat, that there's cameras, there's an opening that you could get in there. I'm like, how is this normal? Who made the decision? I can't say anything. Let me give you the information to our VP of Strategic and Communications Management. I called her 3 times. I don't even want to say her name. I called 3 times. Nobody picked up, and I left a message. I'm just trying to figure out with this type of magnitude, and you know what's insane? For how many
everything
minutes after, not one police officer went there and secured the crime scene. I've watched multiple videos. I've watched aftermath of videos. I saw people coming and stealing hats off a truck and throwing them. Some guy's like, what the hell are you doing? There's no way this type of cover-up, and the fact that when you
That's a
called
fact. That you law enforcement should have shown up and taped the scene.
Why didn't they?
And you know what's crazy?
So weird. Like, I don't know. It's almost as if it was the most photographed shooting we've had in a long time, and the victim had the evidence in them, and the rest of it was filmed. It wasn't the triangulation of it. They knew you can. I mean, they wanted footage from everything, but what are they going to tape off? What are they going to get? Fingerprints? The dude was shot from 200 yards away.
Just like Butler.
They were there, though.
Just like Butler.
I don't know, but you know what's crazy, Pat? I saw a cop. One cop basically had his gun drawn while they were bringing Charlie, God rest his soul, to the vehicle. Your job, bro, is to go this.
Bro, yeah, thank you. Tell the cops what they should be doing, Vinny. Thank you. Start yelling at the cops that while someone has been shot and there might be an active shooter, and at that point the shooter is running around and nobody knows if he's going to shoot anybody else and stuff. Fuck you, dude. They're speeding this body out of the place, and this guy's covering in case anybody takes a shot at maybe the people who are transporting the body to make sure they finish the job, which is entirely possible. That's not what you should be doing, officer. You asshole. Tell him, Vinny.
This idiot, and by the way, Candace yesterday was talking about this guy.
Yeah, thank you, Candace, finally. Somebody calls out these stupid cops, right? Right, Candace? Right, Vinny? Jesus.
She knows him. She goes, never has this guy ever been around when we were on tour.
This who? Back up a second and say who we're talking about.
The guy with the camera that was taking the SD card
Who
out.
stood on the chair.
Who stood? Think about this, guys. It's a crime.
I guess she's talking about not about the cop. She's talking about somebody from TPUSA, the guy who took the SD card out of the camera and hid it or took it away or whatever.
I'm seeing
so by the way, so nobody would snatch it and post it, you know, as people would do. You know what I mean? If you're going to leave the scene, you're like, holy shit, if I walk away from this and there's nobody here securing this, somebody will just take this footage and it'll disappear. I want to make sure it gets someplace. There's a real argument for if that had just happened, you'd be like, oh shit, we have it on camera. Let me get that and give it to them right away. Like, that seems like logical, but it isn't. Whoever this person is, they're sketchy as fuck, and nobody's ever seen him before.
Moving the chair that he was shot. There's probably evidence in there if there was, God forbid, a bullet in there. He's climbing.
Yes, there's a bullet in the chair. That's where the bullet went.
Up there, moving everything, and nobody's saying anything? Common sense 101. You're touching the crime scene. That's the main event.
Yeah, you might even be on camera. You might be the last couple of seconds of the footage with your fucking face as you reach up and turn the camera off.
Camera has everything, okay? And I'm sorry, people are like,
no, it doesn't.
Who do you trust? Get Israel, get all that out of there. The way that it was handled and the fact that his friends and
guys and the thing and the and obviously Kash Patel is behind all of it. No, he's not gonna get there.
Everybody else have just moved on, and the worrying about turning point does not sit with me well, Pat. And I'm talking about my mom. I'm talking about people from all walks of life are like,
your mom called?
Something doesn't feel right.
Whose mom?
Yes.
My mom, my aunt, my cousins, my friends.
Yes, all your friends are calling you because you come from a long line of paranoids, I guess. Is that?
I'm having messages from people that I haven't talked to in years.
I bet.
Like, I know I watched the show and everything. They go, none of us feel like what we're being told is the truth. Not with Tyler, not with none of it is adding up. The boyfriends disappear. Now they're trying to say that Tyler didn't even step foot on the campus
so let me
that
ask
day.
You this. What do you think is going to end up happening?
I think Kash Patel is going to give us all. It's the most transparent. administration in history, man, and we're gonna get all of it. I just wish it would come faster but I know that they want to do due diligence and stuff, and of course they're right in the middle of building the ballroom, and that takes a lot of mental focus. A lot of stuff's going on, tariffs. So there's a lot of. So I think Trump. He'll probably do a special. Maybe he'll do it at the State of the Union. Trump will basically be the opening legal argument at the trial of Tyler Robinson. He's going to turn the SOTU into that. Or not.
Just like every single time, PBD, they always get away with it. Evil on this sense, they get away with it.
They do? Oh, you mean Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Bongholio and I guess the Anti-Defamation League and Netanyahu and Trump and Jared Kushner and Howard Nutlick.
We're almost 3 weeks into it, and I know some of her points are a little out there. She's the only one. Nobody from their side is asking questions like this. If you were my friend, Pat, and I died, I would want you to be like, wait a minute, why were you touching shit? Who has the footage? And it doesn't add up. Tyler doesn't even add up.
Happen, Tom?
Tyler doesn't even add up. I want you to, but what more could you ask for? A trans adjacent person did this. It's almost too perfect.
Well, I'm thinking three things.
Are you?
Actually, more like two.
Probably one.
The first is there are hard facts that dots aren't connecting. Did he fire one shot from up on top? Crowd reaction appears to be a little different.
How? They all went like this. What do you expect? Why? Because they didn't all go.
And he really ran off that way with that gun of that size in that jacket or blanket, whatever he had there. He was walking peg leg down the street with the gun down the leg of his pants. There's things on the Tyler angle that don't add up. Why is this older gentleman?
Did you love the idea that these assholes will want to show up and be like character witnesses for Tyler Robinson?
When standing up, when everybody would be ducking down, I was in a restaurant when a gunshot went off in a bar, one gunshot. Everybody was on the ground. We were all under the tables until a server said, our security guy took the guy outside. Nobody got shot.
That was 3 hours later.
But I've seen that. So that's
they were bringing food over and serving it under the tables just for safety's sake.
One point in my life when I was in college, I heard a gunshot indoors. You're all down.
Indoors.
Yep. Why is this old guy standing up waving a hat? So I see little facts like this that just don't seem to add up. Why wasn't there police there taping up the scene?
Because it's not germane to the investigation.
Why are people taking cameras that would be holding footage that would be...
So somebody else wouldn't steal it because there was thousands of people running around?
Of great interest to the FBI. Why is the Utah...
And because they weren't taping off the area, so...
Governor coming to the...
My favorite thing is that, it's just habit. You just start breaking shit down when the thing's over. Like, show's over. They just start taking it apart.
Microphone, we got him. And we got the gun. It reminds me, if you read Oswald, they did the same thing. They held up the Italian gun,
everybody took the photos?
And then they talked about Oswald, and a day later they killed Oswald.
Yeah, weird.
Did they?
Brandon, what do you think happened? What do you think's going on?
These facts bother me.
Brandon, tell us what happened.
A headline, Pat. The facts that we can have
Brandon, what are you
bother
thinking?
me.
So the only thing I could say for certain is that we're clearly not being told everything that the FBI knows. We're not being told everything the hospital knows. We're not being told everything Turning Point knows. And that was one of the things I was most excited about for the...
So all your friends and all the people in power that are, in total alignment with Trump and what he wants to do, you don't trust any of them. Welcome to the resistance.
Administration was the notion of having a transparent FBI for the first time, where You know, we know the games they play for, like, with the JFK stuff, with the Butler, Pennsylvania stuff, and even the Epstein stuff. But, you know, we're not getting that. And you would
Yeah, you're not getting any of it. It's funny, the Butler stuff and the Epstein stuff especially.
think that somebody like Kirk, who was almost the most responsible person for getting Trump elected, like Trump could be in jail if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk with what the Democrats wanted to do for him. You would think that he would have come down with more vengeance and more curiosity about what.
No, I wouldn't really. He's a transactional old fart who doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself. You don't actually think he's a Christian, do you? You're not one of these people who actually thinks Trump's a Christian, right?
Happened to Kirk and spoke about that more. So I'm surprised to see that from Trump's end, that he's not more curious about what happened to Kirk. I'm surprised that Kash Patel's not being more transparent.
Really? You're surprised?
And forceful to find out what happened. And then not only that, they're withholding stuff from us in addition to not being transparent about it. So I don't think there's enough to say for certain who might have done it, but I can say for certain that we don't know everything they know, and they're like they're forcing us to come up with these theories and alternate opinions.
Yeah, it's their fault.
Because they're deceptive.
How long are you willing to be patient? Like, actually, Hanlon's rate.
Yeah, what's the shelf life? How long before your love of Trump goes stale?
Sure. Okay.
Achman?
Hanlon's razor.
What's that one?
Hanlon's razor. If you pull it up, Rob, I'll read it. Hanlon's razor.
Hanlon's razor is if you, more often than not, people think stuff that's like an evil plan is actually the result of fuck ups.
Is
never attribute to malice.
Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity, Tom, or
a mistake.
Or a mistake. So it suggests that negative events or poor actions are more often the result of ignorance, incompetence, carelessness, or other non-malicious factors that intentional evil.
Agreed. I don't think this show, for example, is an act of evil. I think it's a bunch of incompetent, stupid assholes blathering into microphones. It's a great example. You should think about maybe calling this, Hanlon's Razor podcast.
Then intentional evil or malice. Let's take this as innocent until proven guilty. Perspective real quick.
Yeah, that's the talking point you're getting from upstairs.
Mm-hmm. None of this stuff makes sense.
But like he's like, let innocent until proven guilty. This is all just mistakes. But
bullet goes in here. Shouldn't be an explosion. Bullet goes in here. It comes out because it should. The damage doesn't go in like that. The damage comes out. So I'm with you. I'm on the same page. Mm-hmm. That coming out looks like it didn't come this way because at first we thought it was blood squirting. It's not blood squirting. It was actually a thing. So that's good that we're seeing that.
It's actually a thing.
Guy standing up automatically and starts walking towards the area being shot is the same guy that was there on 9/11. And then the guy putting the chip in the hat and walking, all this stuff, I'm with it. And but to me, I guess the question I'm asking is, how long? Imagine you're them. You are
which them are we talking about?
Cash.
Oh.
You're doing the investigation.
Yeah.
How long should you have?
That's right. How long should Kash Patel have? I'm going to guess less than 3 weeks.
To get to the bottom of this.
Well, considering Kash Patel is always on the bottom.
I guess that's the part that we don't know. And what is the protocol? What are you supposed to go through? What's supposed to be the process? How many people are you interviewing? How many people are you supposed to be talking to? The fact that you're seeing the place being fixed up, and that's where the shooting was, and you get it fixed. Have they made an announcement why they did the construction?
Absolutely not.
It's not just
Has the
fixed
school
up.
made
It's
any
changed.
I totally get it.
No
Rob, is
autopsy.
there any announcement by the?
By the way, I think this is like this has been a fixation to construction on Kirk site, something like that. It's they reopened the campus, and then they are, let's see, creating a memorial for him, but they're also doing it's courtyard, blah, 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 reopens courtyard, paving over the truth. Yeah, here you go. I'll show you this one. Hold on. Right. This is what they're talking about, I think, with oh, get out of here.
Questions that could be answered, or maybe some leads that you guys could be exploring, if you will, because once we began learning about that house next door that's been vacant and is owned by UVU, And once we began looking into the witnesses and finding a common last name and looking into Caldera Engineering, as we did last week, again, not implying that they did anything wrong, just
it's called allowing for the inference thereof. It's the coward's way of implying. Also, the reason a bunch of the people had the same last name is because it was a family's house. They lived there.
telling you factually that witness whose footage ended up in the hands of TMZ runs an engineering company that has a presence worldwide, and they specialize in making these valves. I started thinking, once people told me that valves historically have a connection to the government and the deep state.
Valves? Valves. Sorry. The deep state and valves. Oh, so that must be why Trump was talking about opening the valve in Northern California. Remember, to let all the water in, right? That was his signaling to you guys. Oh my God, that he is joining the deep state. That's what he meant by opening the valve. Oh shit. Well, thanks, Candace, you fucking weirdo.
About how important those valves were to warfare, because if you just want to shut down someone's pipe.
Yes. This was all a plot by Big Pipe. Don't look at me.
Fine. Let's say you want to shut off water.
You're gonna need a valve, obviously. You're gonna need to know the guy who knows the guy who knows the valve.
Or you want to shut off gasoline. Yeah, it makes sense why the government would want to be controlling pipelines and valves. But
absolutely, Okay, I was not expecting this. Chat room, wait a minute. I was not expecting to uncover the big valve connection. Fuck me. Oh my God. Yeah, if you want to shut off somebody's gas, you better watch out. Big valve is coming for you. This is the show Vinny was talking about, like, I don't agree with everything, but man, she's on to some shit. But yeah, I'd like to buy a valve.
I started to ask myself,
how many times a day I use a valve. By the way, valve is a funny word to say. It's enjoyable. It has a good mouth feel to it. Valve. It's automatically, it's just funny. Valve. Oh man, what happened to my valve? You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of throw that one in. I'm going to start using that a lot more often. But then she's going to think I'm part of the deep state. Son of a bitch.
oh, well, did anybody look into whether or not there was anything under Charlie Kirk when he was shot?
A murder valve? Was there a bullet valve that someone opened? Was he on top of a valve? What the fuck? Please tell me this is AI.
What? Right?
No, not right. No. There wasn't a murder valve. They didn't fire holy shit. Does she think there was some sort of compression underneath them where they there was a hose going up his ass and it just blew the fucking side of his neck out? They instantly filled him with gas and that's what the was?
Because if we aren't accepting the narrative that particular gun at that distance didn't pass through, and yet for whatever reason the Fed scrambled to repave that area, maybe, as
they were covering up a valve,
people have speculated,
that there was a valve.
He was shot from a closer distance
with a valve.
I started wondering, was there an access point to any valves? Were there any?
Holy God. What the fuck? Was there an access point to any valves? Well, bitch, I bet there was a sprinkler system. There was a lot of grass around.
Pipelines that could have been under Charlie. And as it turns out, I looked at some old pictures of where he was sitting, and there was a massive pipeline that was almost exactly behind where Charlie was sitting. Here's that.
Almost?
That maybe it's a water pipeline. I don't know.
Oh. I gotta. There was a hose on the grassy knoll. He was Charlie was gassed by hose.
But there it is under the flag. And to your right, I went into my tips line and I saw that somebody.
Your tips line. Somebody called you from a Valve whistleblower.
They messaged me about this. More than one person messaged me about this. They're like, hey, yeah, there's like a whole underground thing there.
Really? Really? On campus, there's a bunch of pipes like sewage and that kind of stuff on a campus? Really? You don't say.
To your right, you're observing those two little boxes, and they told me that was a trap door. Now, I'm not implying someone, popped up and shot Charlie, but that's a
You sure you're not?
Close up of that area. I'm just implying that there's an entire underground there. And I remember when I looked at the footage, I felt like it was
like there was a valve there
coming up. I don't know anything about ballistics. I'm not an expert.
Yeah, but don't let that stop you. Don't hold back. Don't think you have to know anything about any of this. Just go with your gut. Whatever just pops into your dome. If valves suddenly sound suspicious to you, if I were you, I would remove all the valves from my house just in case the Jews are planning to drown you.
But if there was a hatch door nearby, then...
And there's a guy just like, spling, plow, and just went back down and like nobody saw him.
We can assume, as we should always assume with colleges, obviously stadiums, there's always an underground path.
There is. Yes, I've seen Spinal Tap. Hello, Cleveland.
So I'm wondering,
could a person be ejected via some sort of a valve?
If the federal government has explored the possibility that somebody could have been under Charlie and done that, while everyone's looking around and thinking that a shot went off from here, if
kind of would have shown up in the autopsy. Might have, if the entry wound was from a southern direction, you'd kind of be able to tell, dummy.
That was just maybe like decoy number 2, and actually Charlie was shot from beneath him, which then could maybe explain why there was no exit wound. Again, I'm theorizing because I have a right to. I have a right to think. And
no exit wound. I think the point everybody was making was that looked like an exit wound and not an entry wound.
And that is interesting to me.
It is interesting. It's so interesting. Not as interesting as valves, but
where does it go? Where do
we go from here now that all of our children are growing up? And this is so fucking nuts.
The tunnels underneath UVU lead to, right?
Hell. Right to a little chair right next to Satan.
That's an interesting question.
Or perhaps the Mormon Church. Dun, dun. Hold on. Or perhaps it leads... Well, I don't know how you would get there. Probably because you'd get to the Mormon Church through a series of valves. Or you're just a fucking lunatic.
Maybe everyone's looking up when we should be looking below.
Yes, I remember that when my pastor gave that sermon when I was a kid, my minister. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
We should be looking below.
We should be looking below.
There is this interest in pipelines, and I saw that actually where he was sitting, there's a whole irrigation system that's
they're called sprinklers, young lady,
managed by the university,
so that the grass doesn't die.
And so there's definitively stuff beneath.
All right. I swear to God, Jesus Christ. Chat room, holy fuck. Like, I didn't think this could get nuttier. This is nuttier than dog shit, than squirrel shit. What the fuck? Like, I don't usually tap out on some of this shit, but this is amazing to me. Like, this is, like, I don't even know how you can, how do the people in the room while she's, if there is anybody, maybe that's it. Maybe she clears the room before she tapes now so that the snickering doesn't interfere with the show. Oh, shit. What the fuck? How do you manage with the fucking, it's a
dum 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 stupid dumb silly stupid dumb dumb
shit, and she's not done.
Charlie. Again, I don't know anything about ballistics.
I don't know anything about valves.
But I've been very clear that we will be exploring every lead until...
Yeah, every lead. Yeah, every single one of them. But please, don't let go of Big Valve. I feel in my heart that there is more there. And if you let it go, Big Valve will just get away with it.
dumb dumb stupid dumb silly stupid dumb dumb dopey dippy dumb dumb stupid really dumb moron.
Valve.
Dumb, dumb, stupid. Dumb, silly, stupid, dumb, dumb. Dopey, dippy, dumb, dumb. Stupid, really dumb.
Moron.
I'm amazed. I you know what? I'm so happy I can still be shocked.
We get a proper answer for what happened, and I think that would probably be an interesting one for the feds to explore.
Yeah. Trapdoors and valves.
Because within 48 hours, I mean, was it 48 hours, Skylar? They decided to instead pave that area, repave it. Do we have footage of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The aerial footage, drone footage of the illegal paving.
Here we go. Yeah, no, they kind of did the opposite here. They paved.
Oh my God.
It. And I feel like was a little soon. So I don't know.
They're putting in a memorial to him.
If things can be unpaid, I'm sure they can, but maybe exploring a tunnel network would be
If it could be unpaid, you mean unpaved? Do you mean she means unpaved? I hope.
Dum 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 stupid dumb silly stupid dumb 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 dopey dippy dumb dumb stupid really dumb dum 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 moron.
God damn. Why did they pave where Charlie Kirk was shot within days?
Good start, and I will leave while I have your attention.
Oh, you believe me, you had our attention. You had me at valves. Shit, God damn, this is blazing by. Hit the like, share the show, everybody. I don't keep reminding you. Okay, so back to this is the peanut butter dickhead and crowd trying to hammer out Occam's rubber mallet.
University, why they've done that?
No, I took a look this morning. I could not find a single news article, nothing about any type of construction that was being planned
Can
either.
you send me? Is that clip on Twitter?
I have her number
Is
again.
that number?
Yes. Pat, should I call her again?
There's no autopsy.
Yeah, yes, call her again, please. Call her.
See, right?
What is the?
I'm gonna call her name. Her name is Ellen. I could call them right now.
Call them right now.
Okay. I love this.
Call them right now. This is what? This is the university. Rob, can we call?
Can we call? Can we make a phone call?
Will you just
hang on 1 second?
Hang. What I'm trying to find out is.
I'm doing it.
All we want to know is one thing: have you made the announcement of?
I don't.
Utah is a one-party consent state, so you're good.
So I could do this?
But Florida's two-party.
So you can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, but this is
So-
all I've been getting. Nobody picks up. the
I know. You can't do
Yeah,
that.
okay.
So
I'll get it later.
What I want
What were they talking about?
to do is I'm going to ask the question to see
Well, he's just asking questions.
if they've made the announcement. You don't just fix up the place that got shot up and not make an announcement about it.
It didn't get shot up. One guy got shot on that spot.
So play as if you're on the inside. What's
Yes. If you worked for Big Valve,
your argument? Don't play the devil's advocate. Play the opposite of devil's advocate.
Heaven's Advocate, isn't that a show on the CW?
Which is, what do you call the opposite of devil's advocate?
The Advocate, God's Advocate.
What is the antonym of devil's advocate?
There isn't one. The Devil's Advocate is the antonym for advocacy.
How do you
God's advocate?
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what I'm
because-
saying? Like
No, nobody knows what you're fucking saying, stupid. It's not an antonym. It's a specific role. The devil's advocate is really a thing that exists. It's in the Catholic Church. When they want to make someone a saint, they have someone come there, and their specific job is to explain why this person should not be a saint. And that person is referred to as the devil's advocate. Oh, I'm going to call so many names. Right.
Being the opposite,
Play the opposite,
opinion.
like they're doing everything truthfully.
Okay.
What's your argument? You're on Cash's team.
You steel man their argument. You steel man their story.
Give that argument.
On Cash's
Fuck.
team, it's like, well, I mean, the shooter.
Well, you would say that it would be because they don't want to give evidence away that would be pertinent to know on the FBI side. But Cash is the one that came out and said, "Hey, we got him before they even had him." So that contradicts the notion of them trying to withhold things from the public.
Yeah, saying that you have a shooter that fast before you actually had the shooter doesn't add any credibility to you, which you've.
Excuse me. They don't need any credibility. He's your friend, and you trust him implicitly, and you did before the Epstein stuff, and you do now. So shut the fuck up and take it up the poop chute. That's just your job. You don't get to question Cash Patel now.
Already lost the
But
credibility.
remember, you're not doing it. Just do it for a second.
Do it.
Well, they're handling
You're the spokesperson for them, and you truly know
How do you sell this? Well, you come out and you go,
Dum, 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 dum.
Right. That's right.
everything they know. Okay? Speak on their behalf. What do you say?
Hey, I respect the public's curiosity here. It's a horrible thing that happened to a very public figure. This is an active investigation. There are multiple angles that are being pursued here, and we have to pursue those and complete the investigation without tipping off people or without framing it through the media, and we can't lose our opportunity to prosecute because certain things are misrepresented in the media. So you need to let us do our work. We're interviewing a lot of people and following a lot of leads. Now I'm stuck. So let's say I'm the press secretary for the FBI. Says, well, so why did you say you have you got him? If there's a second shooter, don't you have to come forward and say you don't got him? So in
Yeah,
that
it's
case,
weird.
Pat, it would be hard for me. Now how do I spin from the inside? So you're saying maybe you don't got him.
Stop doing that. You're ruining the whole thing. He asked you to steel man their argument and protect them from their own dipshittery, stupid.
You're saying you're still investigating him. Either you got him and you're done, FBI, or you're pursuing other leads still looking into it. Which is it, sir?
No, that's not the... Okay, God damn it. I don't want to help these guys. Why do you have to... Fucking asshole. Yet, no. After you catch the person, you still have to prosecute the person. And so you have to build a case that there's more evidence that may be at play than what you actually have. And you got to make sure that you don't muddy that up or make people disregard the evidence that you have by making statements that ended up being contradicted later, or that the defense can use as a way that they muddied up the jury pool, or that they gave away some of the evidence that they weren't able to have thrown out in the court, and therefore everybody who might be a jurist in that area has heard all about this thing, and you told everybody, but they ended up saying, no, this was an illegal search. So you can go, well, now you have to throw out the whole case because we can't get a jury that, because of the gun or whatever, because you said it was his gun, and that you had him dead to rights, and then we find out actually you didn't, and we have to throw the gun out. It's fruit of the poison tree. So every jurist will have heard about the gun, even though it shouldn't legally be counted as evidence because because of how it was seized or where it came from, or it could have been planted. And so to protect everybody against that possibility, you throw some evidence out. And these motherfuckers can't recognize that that's part of the equation as well. Also, if there is a thought that other people were involved, those people could not only give evidence that would support your case against this person, but also might be exculpatory. It might have been that this person turned out he was being blackmailed into being this person, that he was a patsy in some other way as well, like that he was being sent up there and they were going to do something awful to his family. So now you can't go after him for the death penalty, and it's a RICO case. And so even though you got the guy with the gun and you think that's the shooter and that's cut and dried, the rest of it's still wide open, and you don't want to fuck that up. So it's not binary like these dipshits.
And you're kind of stuck, but...
Oh my God, they're so dumb. It's so fucking painful. Ugh! Why? Why?
Dumb, 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 and dumb, 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 stupid, dumb, silly, stupid, dumb, dumb, dopey, dippy, dumb, dumb, stupid, really dumb.
Dum 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 dum.
Shit. Like, none of these motherfuckers have watched a single episode of fucking Dateline?
On the inside, that's what I would be saying.
What's up, Rob?
It's interesting. There's some construction information that's been released by the Utah Valley University, but none of it has to do with the building that you guys are mentioning or where Charlie was shot. So they released a student center remodel. There's an article about that. There's also the Scott M. Smith building that they were constructing. There's also the stadium that they're going to be using. So they do issue announcements regarding construction ongoing at the campus. There's nothing written about where Charlie was shot and construction being done there.
Weird. It's so weird.
Hold on. Now, like, do I have to? And I don't even have a fucking. September 23rd, 2025, almost 2 weeks after conservative commentator Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at Utah Valley, the Orem School has announced it is creating a committee to develop a memorial. Let's see. There you go. Following the assassination, here you go. This is following the assassination memorial committee to following the assassination of Charlie Kirk on September 10th. The university is creating a committee to develop a memorial. The UVU Memorial Committee will be co-chaired by those people. As a committee will listen to the people who received an outpouring of support, ideas, and suggestions regarding a memorial from students, faculty who are supporting our community. Okay, so they announced that part of it. Then we'll go the area where he was shot. Was the outside auditorium or whatever, the campus. Hold on, maps and parking. Here we go. Utah Valley University main campus map. Here we go. Allow. Okay. So, let's see where this is. That's the house. Let's see. 360 panoramas, buildings, event locations. Fourth, the amphitheater. That would be this thing right here. Okay. 3D concept, accept, whatever. That's the, okay. So this is the amphitheater area, I guess, where he was. Let's see, hold on. This is so annoying. Theater people or whatever, show more. That's the amp, okay. This area right here. And down to 3, 2, 1, first floor. Okay, so this is the whole campus. Okay, there's the baseball diamond over there. This is the open camp. I think this is it right here. Is the open area, the campus? Yeah, steps area. This whole thing. Fairly certain, correct? So yeah, they're like leveling this up one, I guess. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, so there's the pool area over here where this has been. There's nothing. Yeah, so it's this area right in here. Yes? Pardon me if I'm getting this wrong from the map of the area. It's not that great. There's the, yeah, this is it. So the that's the pool they were showing. This is the rooftop. This is the area where he buggered off in the parking lot over here. It's like this rooftop over here. Or this one up here. Is this one up here? Yeah, it's this guy right here. That's what it is. So he was right here. This is where he ran and jumped down off here, went across the parking lot, and then this is the area where the event was taking place. It was this kind of outdoor area. And I guess they have this little, it's like this, I guess. Is this the area where they were? I don't know. I'll have to look there. Obviously, there's a fountain here with an arrow in it that clearly was run by a series of valves. Sorry, I should have done that a little better. Sorry. That was created by a series of valves. So they're doing some work there, I guess, on that spot.
Here's the problem.
Here's the problem. You have four stupid guys trying to explain something they don't understand.
Problem is, it's hard to make a case for them. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's, I think that next time, don't elect and support a bunch of habitual liars who don't give a shit about anybody but themselves and are a bunch of transactional dickheads who are out for revenge. You can call that Sparks's razor.
It's hard to make a case why it's if let's just say the school does have that construction scheduled. You're the FBI. You're the local PD. Guys, you're not touching this for 3 weeks.
Yeah, a week.
Can you look up, Rob, what is the longest a crime scene stayed intact?
Good question.
What is the
what? How about the shortest? I got news for you, motherfucker. You know that kid the same day who killed two kids at that that high school on the same fucking day this happened? That school was open the following Monday. They didn't rope off the fucking entire area. Uvalde was open a week later. They didn't fucking goddamn.
Longest a crime scene stayed intact just to get all evidence,
or the average amount of time even.
I want to know the longest. I want to know the.
Don't ask for the average. We don't do average here.
Longest, not the average time. I want to know because shorter, average is going to be probably 8 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. But what is the longest a crime scene stayed intact? And maybe that's not the question, Rob. Tom, what's the question? Are we asking a question the right way? Do you know what I'm?
Oh God. I'm sorry, Candace. I thought you were the stupidest person talking about this. You're just fucking bananas. This is stupid. By the way, they are referencing, if I may, see if I can find this shit. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here you go. This is.
All right, happy Thursday, everybody. And I'm serious. You should be happy, and you should.
You should be
merry
happy
because the tapestry is unraveling.
That's right. And I think is that a Karen Carpenter? That's a Carpenter's record, right?
Right. I mean,
yeah.
There has been an extremely carefully woven tapestry of deception in all of our lives.
That's right. The veil of Satan has been drifted across our eyeballs.
And I think that Charlie Kirk's assassination, while of course it was a tragedy, has also worked to awaken the world to a deeper evil, something more sinister that sits below.
Yes. Big valve.
So today we are going to talk about the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, because...
Right, and their connection to valves. Apparently, they have faucets in all of their buildings.
Suddenly, Kash Patel wants to distance the feds from them. I don't really think that's possible, and I'm wondering why he chose yesterday to do that.
Because of because they had Turning Points USA listed as a hate organization, and they had left it up there, and there was a lot of blowback, so maggots were crawling up his ass about it. And the more they do that, the more it looks like he's sympathetic to whoever killed Charlie Kirk and is involved in however Kirk died. And so he's doing anything he can to placate those people.
Plus, we received a few tips regarding the woman who is
just the tips from Candace.
Missing from the footage. And while we certainly cannot confirm that it's actually this individual,
no, of course not. But don't let that stop you.
We do find the fact that she gave a public testimony to be pretty interesting. What she says.
It is. It's very interesting.
Interesting. Also, what she does for a living is even more interesting.
She's she sells matzo balls door to door for shekels. But only Monday through Friday dusk.
Our witness tree grows. Welcome back to Candace.
It's so much fun. Oh my God. Like, I feel like I'm so here for this. This is so incredible. Yeah. Okay. Back to where you were. Sorry. And then you got to sell us something before?
Okay. I need you guys locked in.
Okay. I'm locked in. Ready to go. Hold, please. This is going to be. I've got my jet button ready. Okay, here we go.
Because things are becoming increasingly interesting. Okay.
Well, I'll be the judge of that, dipshit.
Yesterday, the FBI made a rather curious announcement. They announced that they were going to cut ties with the ADL. Right? You know what the ADL is? The
Oh boy, do I.
Defamation League. And the reasons, well, because they had listed Charlie Kirk and his organization, TPUSA, to be extremist. Everybody's an extremist according to the ADL. But I want you guys to know that this is...
They technically called them a hate group, I think was the kind of thing. And so what they thought was, or what their excuse anyways, was that it passed the rhetoric threshold into endangering people's lives. And, there was like an overlay of blame. People calling him, a hate monger or calling them Nazis, that kind of stuff is what led to getting him killed. And since Tyler Robinson said he was spreading hate, the fact that the ADL had him listed as a hate group and stuff became a bone of contention. They didn't want to remove it because of obvious reasons. And so that started a little pissing contest between them. And then that was that.
It's not a subtle announcement. We need to unpack this announcement.
Yeah, we do.
Because I don't care what side of the aisle that you are on. You
kind of do.
Need to understand that the ADL is not, nor has it ever been, what it purports to be, okay?
Right. So they're pro-defamation. All right. Okay, if you say so.
Purports to be, we're just looking out and hate speech and extremism. No. The reality is the ADL was born out of a Jewish Freemason organization.
Wow. All right. A Jewish Freemason organization. Freemasons are secular. It's a religious organization, but it's not. There's no specific groups within it. I'm just saying, as one, and who's not Jewish, I don't know what to tell you.
Known as B'nai B'rith. Now, you're on my book.
Oh, I see that. The B'nai B'rith borrowed masonry like the Mormons did, the mechanics of it to create the organization. It doesn't make them Freemasons.
You know this, but Sigmund Freud...
I don't trust anybody that has that many apostrophes in their words, though. I think it's a mistake. Unless it's an apostrophe S at the end, I'm not on board.
As a member of B'nai B'rith, we were discussing, we're reading right now the book, The Assault on Truth, and Sigmund Freud is very relevant. You have to learn the history of Sigmund Freud. He's in all of our schools, all of our universities, taught as a hero, the history of the psychoanalytic movement.
Is Candace a Scientologist now? Also, fuck Freud. A lot of his stuff was bullshit. He never cured anybody. He had 7 patients, and all of them either left. And one of them, literally was like, I just got tired of being crazy. Was effectively how they ended up curing themselves. He was over fixated on people's booty holes, and that was almost. It was like if anything, it could show the psychoanalysis of if you have a deeply ingrained perception of the world, how it can color everything that you see. It's probably the greatest thing you can learn from Freud.
Look, the reality is him and all of his homies were covering up for incestuous child abuse. That is a fact, okay? They can't wipe that stain away. Quite literally.
Yes, and he didn't cure the wolf boy.
The way that they did this was through the mechanism of gaslighting. That's what he is the father of, public gaslighting, okay?
Sure it isn't private gaslighting. I mean, public gaslighting, I would say, is propaganda, in theory.
That's what modern psychology is.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so modern psychology is public gaslighting. All right, cool. Can I still call you fucking nuts?
They moved to instead diagnose people who were being abused, right? They were using their credentials, I'm a this, I'm a that, to make people, maybe the wider public, believe that their gaslighting was actually legitimate.
When they said I'm a this, I'm a that, and people just took that was all they had to do was, I'm a this, I'm a that, and then tying people's abuse to behavior later in life somehow forgives the abuser? Is that the argument?
That is what the book, The Assault on Truth, unpacks. It is therefore a must read because you have to realize how horrific the crimes were that were being committed that they were covering for. So Sigmund Freud was in B'nai B'rith, and the ADL was born out of B'nai B'rith.
So they could cover for pedophiles, and Donald Trump is best friends with.
Why? Well, because they put the organization together to defend a pedophile and a murderer. His name is Leo Frank. Leo Frank was an unbelievably wealthy Jewish factory owner down in Atlanta. And this is
with a sharp hat, by the way. That's
1913. It's very relevant. You should know this happened in 1913.
Right, when everything written at the time was completely easy to verify, and sure, details were, there was no yellow journalism, there was no, propaganda in any of the writing back then. Pretty much, you just the facts, ma'am. That's what you were getting.
And this is the
I don't know about this. I'm just saying it's kind of ironic.
American South. You know what was going on there. And Mary Fagan was a 13-year-old girl who worked at his pencil factory. She was found brutally raped. Okay, she's a Catholic girl, by the way. I want to say that. She was a young Catholic girl.
I see. So this is a religious war.
And Leo Frank, even with all of his money, all of his connections, the best lawyers that money could buy, connections all the way to the Supreme Court, he was so guilty of what happened that despite the fact that he tried to pin it on a poor black janitor, even in the segregated South, where people were just like, hey, give us any reason and we will go lynch a black person, the racist segregated South, they still found him guilty, okay? They still found Leo Frank guilty. And so much has been written to try to obscure this still. They are still trying to defend Leo Frank. What happened then is that his buddies over at the Freemasonic Lodge, B'nai B'rith, assembled the
B'nai B'rith's not a Freemasonic Lodge, you asshole.
ADL to gaslight the public. No, Leo Frank wasn't guilty. Look what happened after.
But hold on. Wait 1 second. I want to say, who was it? Let's see. Oldest Jewish service organization in the world. I've been here, we're just Jewish immigrants in 1943. Let's see. Because they established the ADL. It's a Jewish and Zionist Service Organization, was formerly a cultural association for German Jewish immigrants in the United States. Yeah, there's no Masonic ties to it at all. Especially because you like all faiths are welcome in Masonry. Not, I would presume this is strictly for Jews. Dunno. I know there's a B'nai B'rith, I think, temple in Chicago on Sheridan Road. We used to drive by. It's a very nice building, very, very fancy. Hold on, let me see if I can find Temple Chicago. Sheridan Road. Yeah, it's in Wilmette. Yeah, we used to drive by this place all the time. It's very pretty. You can see it from the street. That's the building. The B'nai B'rith in Wilmette. Dink, right there where that little red dot is. Boink. or the Chicago Baha'i Temple, second Baha'i temple ever constructed. It's only one of two. Okay, the oldest one's still standing. Is one of 8 continental temples constructed in all of North America. The temple was designed by French-Canadian architect Louis Bourgeois. Design feedback from Abdul Baha'i during the Haifa in 1920 to convey the Baha'i principle of the unity of religion. Blah, blah, blah. Early plans, 1903. Baha'is down there first discussed the idea of Baha'i house and worship in the Chicago area. Time, the world's first house of worship being built in Ashgabat in Russian Turkestan, which is now Turkmenistan, to the Laos family. Laos family was particularly involved in the first blah, blah, blah. Okay. Anyways, we used to drive by this place. You can see it from Sheridan Road. You can't see this part. You can't see this little like reflecting thing, but like on the other side over to that side is Sheridan Road. It's right there on the street. See if I can find the map of it. Where is it? Why wouldn't it? It's got to be it has to be a map, right? Coordinates. Nope. Son of a bitch. Anyways, you can see it from the road. That's not the part. I don't need to take you guys down like a trip through time to when I was in high school.
He was lynched for what he did to Mary Fagan. He is actually a victim of anti-Semitism. That's it. He wasn't guilty, I'm sure.
Well, the idea is that he got a posthumous pardon, right? That was the case. So he was found raped and murdered. Frank was convicted of rape and murder. However, the trial was highly publicized and marked by anti-Semitic sentiment, was the theory, which heavily influenced the proceedings and public opinion. After his conviction, Frank was initially sentenced to death, but the governor commuted it to life in prison. In 1915, 2 years after his conviction, Frank was abducted from prison by a mob and lynched. Frank's trial was significantly influenced by anti-Jewish prejudice, current leading concerns about the fairness of the legal process. In 1986, Georgia granted Frank a pardon posthumously, obviously, not based on a finding of innocence, but on the state's failure to protect him from the mob and the unjust circumstances of his death. The case and subsequent lynching were major factors in the founding of the ADL, an organization that created to combat anti-Semitism and advocate for justice. And then there's like obviously lots of articles written about it. But you can see why this one would be upset that
Maybe the black guy did it in 1913 Atlanta, and everyone conspired to instead attack a wealthy factory owner. Like I said, to this day, they are using those mechanisms to try to gaslight us and to pretend that Leo Frank was really the victim in this tragedy. It's utterly demented. I will never let it stand. He killed Mary Fagan. He is still guilty of that crime, no matter how much the ADL tries to obscure that. And by the way, if you want to learn more, you should learn more about Mary Fagan's murder. I can point you guys, there's a book called...
Also, even the pardon doesn't recognize that he was innocent or tried to say that he wasn't guilty of it. It's about the inability of the state to protect somebody who was convicted of a crime and not have them lynched, I think, which I guess would be progress for Georgia over time.
The Murder of Little Mary Fagan, and it is written by a relative of hers, and that relative's name is also Mary Fagan. You should read the details of what happened 100 years ago. You should read the facts around it, read the case documents, learn about the brutal rape and the murder and what happened thereafter, because so much has been written since to try to obscure those facts. So go to the family member as a source. Do that in your own spare time. In fact, maybe I should add it to the book club list. Anyways, the reason...
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have a book club list that just anytime a Jewish person is found guilty of a crime. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure this fixation goes someplace.
Why I'm telling you that is because there is it really is a very crucial element of our history that you need to come to terms with, right? The modern media machine, all of these journalists who lie and gaslight, you're seeing it right now, what they're writing about me, it's insane. They are students of effectively the psychoanalytic community. Let's gaslight and then we will diagnose. Gaslight and diagnose.
Oh, I see. No. Hi, real quick. I don't think anybody thinks you're mentally insane when they say you're fucking crazy. I think what they mean when they say Candace Owens is crazy is that you are a perfect mix of stupid and egotistical. And that when you throw those together, people say crazy shit. Like Charlie Sheen is fucking crazy, right? That's when you say that, they're not gaslighting about a psychoanalytic limitation on who you are as a person. What they're saying is you're stupid and blazingly full of shit, like full of yourself at the same time. You're full of shit and yourself at the same time. And when that happens, people will call you crazy, but they're meaning it like euphemistically. What they really mean is that you're dumb and you're an egomaniac. It's a great combination. As a matter of fact, I recommend it for anyone who wants to try stand-up comedy, because it's crucial in the beginning that you be stupid and arrogant. These are the only things that will save you. Eventually, you'll become confident, but that takes time. The emergency quick form, the fake it till you make it version, is being completely full of shit and full of yourself.
Seeing it happen in real time pertaining to the Charlie Kirk case. We watched him be murdered, and then we watched the feds lie to us.
The feds? You're not just going to go with Trump's government? You're not going to say Kash Patel lie to you? Dan Bongholio lie to you? Pam Bondi lie to you? The feds did it. Like it's a bunch of federal employees. Like people from the fucking agriculture secretary's office just suddenly decided to bullshit you about the death of Charlie Kirk. The feds did it. Federal employees. No. These are your fucking folks. These are people that you helped get elected.
Rather fanatically, the text messages, I think, were really the what is going on. And now they're yelling at us for noticing. Like, we are all being abused right now by the press, right? They're trying to spin it. No, I can't believe people have questions. The conspiracies are so bad.
Yeah, you're just asking questions. Just like Tucker Carlson's just asking questions, like the Jewish question.
These text messages were totally legit. Anybody who wants to investigate it further, crazy. Oh, just totally crazy. We're all clinically insane.
No, I gotta say, I don't think anybody's against investigating stuff further. We live in a true crime era. I gotta say, most people are down with just like picking stuff apart. However, when you start going after maybe he was valved to death, you gotta give people room to push back and call you a fucking moron. Just out of respect for your fellow human beings, that you gotta. If some of these details can trigger your fucking, your bullshit detector, then clearly they're allowed to have the same reaction to the shit you're saying. Fair's fair.
We should probably consult a physician. How dare we? It's inappropriate. Candace, they always say this, she must be suffering from postpartum psychosis. Okay.
Is that what people are saying? I would just call you fucking bananas. You're a crazy person. That's, again, and I mean those euphemistically. I don't think you're mentally challenged or you have a mental disease. I think you're an asshole with a bigger microphone than most assholes should have, and that will make you sound. It'll let you release your crazier thoughts onto a bigger group of people.
Whatever you want to call the thing is that I'm suffering from when you watch your friend catch a bullet in the neck, you can call it that.
That would be PTSD.
Diagnose it if you need to. Anyways, you guys, the time has come for us to wake up. Now, it should unnerve you with that little bit of history that despite their well-documented founding, the ADL is so powerful of an organization that they have been directing the FBI for years, okay?
Yes, the FBI has just been after any non-Jewish organizations. This would be, by the way, blowback from Catholic Opus Dei related kind of pro-lifers that were blocking clinics and shit, catching hell, and this whole Trump thing about they were attacking, the FBI's attacking Catholics under Biden. This is all blowback from that shit, just so you know.
Label people who tell the truth extremists.
These people are just arrested for praying in a doorway so that people can't get past them.
Them on a list. I think it effectively works as a hit list. And then they direct and work with the FBI in partnership to go after those extremists. Okay? That is a very weird relationship, a strange relationship, an immoral relationship, and a corrupt relationship. Now, I want you to know that I learned that recently, last year, that both the left and the right work with the ADL.
dun. Wait, Sherry, for 1 second. Of course, it's a bipartisan cabal of baby eaters.
Okay, there was this lie that's told publicly. I believed it, that it's just the left. It's all
Yeah.
left leaning. No. They work with both the left and the right. The neocons on the right side work arm in arm with the ADL and feed them names, primarily of anyone, I should say, who is an enemy to the state of Israel.
Okay, so all right. So the right wingers in Trump's organization are the neocon crowd of rhinos, whatever they're the out in group that's the majority of Republicans. So they, via the FBI in Congress, whoever it is, feed names of people that they find troublesome towards Israel, or I guess their own party, I guess as well. They feed that to the FBI and via the ADL or vice versa, and then those people are rounded up. This be Nick Fuentes in that crowd, or Candace, apparently in theory feeling the heat,
So currently you have
or what she's worried about will happen. I
Trump
suppose.
people who I guess are trying to save face for their remarkable lack of curiosity as it pertains to who assassinated Charlie Kirk, who
By the way, that's the phrase we heard from Vinny, not being curious.
loved them and worked did whatever he could to support their administration. They're trying to save face and pretend that they're upset, like, oh, we're going to do something. It's not okay that this happened. Look over here, right? Oh, look over here. The ADL put Charlie Kirk on a list. Now that he's dead, we demand post-justice.
Post-justice. I see. So the ADL, so Tyler Robinson, who friends were like anti-Zionists as well, was motivated by the ADL putting Turning Points on a list of hateful organizations. Okay. Because, oh, by the way, because Freud was making pedophilia okay by explaining the psychological damage that people got that made them possibly act in certain ways, or at least explain the behavior, if not forgive the behavior. And that, of course, made it okay for for men to play in women's sports. I think, have I tied it all together? Is that what they're being punished for currently? I think
Cash
so.
Patel's doing that. He's acting right
Ooh, Cash Patel.
now. He's pretending that he's delivering some form of justice.
Ooh, he's pretending. Cash Patel, you liar.
I think Elon Musk tweeted about Charlie Kirk and TPUSA being on the list, and then it kind of caught fire, and this became the new conservative talking point. The ADL must pay for that. And sure enough, the FBI director, Kash Patel, announced yesterday that this is over. Yes, the ADL was training FBI agents and sharing intelligence in partnership with the FBI. The FBI and the ADL had a partnership sharing intel. They were training agents, and he says no more. Okay, he wrote this in a tweet. James Comey wrote love letters to the ADL and embedded FBI agents with them, a group that ran disgraceful ops spying on Americans. That era is over. The FBI won't partner with political fronts masquerading as watchdogs. Now, if you're on the right, you're supposed to go, yay! Just
You wouldn't?
served. If you're on the left, you're maybe going to be happy that the ADL responded very graciously to this. They issued a statement immediately. They said, as we prepare to observe the holiest day of the year on the Jewish calendar, I don't know, that's just like, I guess they're a victim somehow, we have seen the statement from the FBI Director Patel regarding the FBI's relationship. ADL has deep respect for the Federal Bureau of Investigation and law enforcement officers at
It's a donkey, the federal donkey of investigation, yeah.
all levels across the country who work tirelessly every single day to protect all Americans, regardless of their ancestry, religion, ethnicity, faith, political affiliation, or any other point of difference. In light of an unprecedented surge of anti-Semitism, we remain more committed than ever to our core purpose to protect the Jewish people. You should know that all of that you just heard, okay, is BS.
Yeah, it is. They don't even like Jewish people. The Anti-Defamation League can't stand Jews.
It's slave slop.
Slave slop. Yikes.
We are the slaves, and they are serving us slop right now.
Sorry, we are the slaves, and they're serving us slop. The ADL is serving us.
The
Okay.
illusion that things are changing. The illusion that it's left versus right.
Oh no, sorry. Cash Patel is serving the slave slop. Sorry. That seems. I thought like you did. I'm sure that she meant the ADL was doing this. No, this is the Cash Patel serving. That they're still hand in glove, and this is just for show. I
It's
guess.
Jewish Americans versus everybody else. Hey, Jewish Americans, if you're watching this, you want to wake up. The ADL is not your friend at all. They don't care about what happens to you. If you need more proof, you should know that they curiously removed the Azov battalion. They're carving swastikas on their head. The Ukrainians murdering people. They removed them from the hate list. Candace Owens is on there, though. I'm sure you guys go to bed and you're worried.
Oh yeah, this is the Azov Battalion is one of the reasons why people justify Russia attacking Ukraine. Obviously, the Azov Battalion. Never mind the fact that they were like when the Germans were fighting against the Soviets, and people were trying to fight because the Soviets had the Russians had starved big parts of Ukraine. They're like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and the Azov believed in linked to the. Anyways, those people got purged, and the battalion still existed without that history. That's okay. That's like this is the same thing as saying that police in the United States are based on slave hunters, and so therefore you shouldn't pay your parking tickets because that it's really just the mechanics of slave catchers, and you're playing into that. So this is the same argument
About Candace Owens and not the people that are carving freaking swastikas on their head and murdering people. Okay? They don't care. That's all. This is all just slop. Left versus right illusion, whatever it is. But the more important question that I want to get to is why now? Why are they putting on this performative bit right now? Well, yesterday I made an offhand remark about the ADL and the FBI sharing an office in Connecticut. Now, I know this because I'm from Connecticut, so there's no way to try to obscure that fact.
Yeah, that you've been there.
Back in 2023, actually, a Catholic.
Holy shit! I'm not gonna cover this whole fucking show, but get to the point.
Investigator revealed this and shared it. He addressed it in a series of tweets. Kyle Undercover wrote, I gathered property records for the 19 different states that the ADL has a regional office established. The report reveals that in the state of Connecticut, the ADL shares an office space with the FBI. They also share an office space with the United Nations in New York. Now,
they rent out of the same fucking building. There are a limited number of buildings with the kind of security that they would want. Shut the fuck up. They don't share desks, dumbass. Come on. You know what? They probably contact each other through valves in the building. Like, I got no reason to, defend, certainly Cash Patel's FBI or whoever fucking runs the ADL or whether it's an effective organization or not. This is just dumb.
same building, across the hall, whatever.
Whatever. Same building, Yeah, Donald Trump rents out 3 fucking floors to the mob in his building, to the Russians, and they're running money laundering and human trafficking out of it. But that he knows nothing about that. But if the ADL's across the hall from the FBI on separate floors or some shit, then they're obviously hand in glove.
It's a fact, and it makes sense. You shouldn't be that shocked when they're owning the fact that they share information. It's easier to share information.
Yeah, if you don't have to have emails and stuff. They just slide, they write notes on rice paper, slide it under the door, and then the person reads it and eats it.
You're sharing an office space, right? Anyways, he goes on and he writes, after reviewing the 19 ADL offices, we can see an alarming trend. 63% of the ADL's regional offices are located within various banking institutions. 42% are...
Well, of course. I mean, they're Jewish related. Of course, they'd be 63% of them, would be near banks.
Located within various law firms, ranging from immigration to criminal law. You should keep that in mind for what we're going to talk about later on this show.
Are located within various law firms. All right.
And 10% are located in Jewish institutions. So you get...
Sorry, are the buildings Jewish institutions? Are the buildings law firms because the law firm owns the main building?
The point.
I don't get the point. I really don't. What are the other who else is in there? Does WWE have an office in some of these buildings? What the fuck?
Why am I telling you this? Because
you're hyper fixated that Israel's behind everything.
after I made that offhand remark yesterday, I received a rather stunning tip, which I have been able to corroborate, that out of all of the FBI boroughs in the United States,
Bureaus. A borough is like the outer towns around Manhattan, the 5 boroughs. A bureau, yeah.
regarding which there are 55 main boroughs and
Bureaus.
over 350 satellite boroughs.
Bureaus.
The FBI sent the specific Connecticut borough down to UVU after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. To help investigate the assassination.
And so Jews from the ADL caught a ride with them?
Okay, let's just look at the map again. They decided to go upwards on the East Coast and to send the field office from that borough to UVU.
Bureau.
I'm wondering why they did that.
Oh, God. Let's see. Charlie Kirk was shot. FBI involved. The FBI, primarily through its Salt Lake City field office, was heavily involved in the investigation, subsequent manhunt for the shooter. Surveillance footage, DNA evidence, confessions led to the arrest of a suspect. News outlets, including the Connecticut Post and the CT Insider, published stories covering the national incident. Where's the evidence that they actually went there other than she said so?
I'd like an answer. We're probably not going to get it. We're not getting answers on anything. I wonder what moved them to send that particular bureau.
They didn't.
Okay. Down to UVU. It just feels like you got a lot around you. A lot of options. It wasn't exactly like necessary for you to do that. Charlie Kirk gets assassinated. And yeah, that person provided proof. They said we are 1,000% certain. I said, I'm going to need to see proof. Unbelievably. I'd like to know why they did that.
Okay. At this point, I'm like, this is... I think we should have just checked out at fucking Valves. It made more sense. God damn. Burrows are great at kids' parties. Shame on you, Robert. I'm not going to watch another Burrow show. God damn. I went long tonight. I told you I was like, I'll get out early this evening. And I haven't even like gotten into half of the shit. Like, look, fucking Jimmy and then Candace goes off. Candace Owen calls out Turning Points USA, demands they call her a liar. Blow up doll Trish Regan in, let's see, where's her outfit? Like, is wearing one of her like bizarre
computer engineers. Like, let's actually have a.
I don't know what these outfits are. Like, it's like she's cosplaying as. Stop listening. All right. This is a little AI thing that I've been working on, and it's very strange. Computer, can you tell me what your name is? Maybe not. Can you tell me what your name is? Know what? She know what? It's like it. Maybe I'm pushing the wrong button. That happens. All right, I'm putting it in standby. I'll work it out later. It's this little device, and then it clips onto your clothing with a battery. It's fucking crazy. And every so often, it just wakes up. I'm trying to. I really shut it down. But it's. I was required to get one. The Illuminati sent it to me yesterday, and they're like, "You have to wear this," and I was like, "Ugh, that and digital ID. Like, what am I even doing?" So Candace goes off. Dr. Phil, Trump has officially. By the way, let's see if I can do this. Trump has officially declared war on. He sent a secret note to to Congress saying that we are at war with the cartels. So I find that we'll talk about that tomorrow morning on the show. But I told you guys were going to be bombing inside Mexico, Venezuela as well. Like that's and everybody's like the deep state wants to do this. Like the fucking deep state. This is Trump 100%, shithead. Biden could have done it. He didn't do it. Obama could have done it. He didn't do it. Why? Because there's a fucking difference, you chimps. God damn. Fucking Dora and all those dipshits and Eric and this asshole. And then Pags is like, is in charge. Joey Pags is in charge of attacking Candace Owens now.
You hear that? It's the sound of more clicks for Candace Owens. I'm going to show you a piece of video. I'm going to break it down for you, and you tell me if I'm off. Maybe I'm missing something. And again, as somebody who has done this for a living, I can take a story, break it
past tense
down, and disseminate it to my audience. Candace Owens put out this as part of her recent podcast or live or something where she challenges TPUSA to prove her wrong about things she's saying about TPUSA. And 2 points really jumped out at me. One, is she making Charlie's assassination about her? And two, why wouldn't this still happen, this thing she says was going to happen, even with him passing away? Let's go to it.
I'm going to challenge Turning Point USA executives to issue a very clean statement saying that I am lying if this is not true. About 48 hours before Charlie Kirk died, Charlie informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright. Okay, Charlie was done. He said it explicitly that he...
Okay, so Pags is doing that. I'm fairly certain, this is the same thing from...
I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking...
This is my favorite show right now is Jimmy Dore's Watch an Old Man Watch Clips.
...and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show.
So guess what? Candace Owens comes out and...
Candace Owens, I think it's a plural, yeah.
He lays in to the, Charlie Kirk's organization was TPUSA, Turning Points USA. And listen, she's coming at him both guns blazing.
Bad analogy, asshat.
She's not holding back. No punches pulled. Listen to what she has to say to them right now.
Listen to what I say to them right now.
I don't know how the executives over at Turning Point USA sleep at night. Okay, I don't know how you can.
Pags is covering the same thing, and basically there is a bunch of people. It seems like on the right that their entire gig right now is to attack Candace for saying shit, not on the hilarity like I'm pointing out and the bullshit she's saying, but this kind of like how dare she zone. While Jimmy is pushing the same conspiracies, he's just choosing different targets.
Yourselves as a Christian organization. And not to be dedicating yourself to the truth. No matter what the cost is, you tell the truth. That's it, okay? You don't hide it. You don't try to obfuscate it. You don't try to say, well, wait until the memorial event before we start looking into who murdered him. You tell the truth and you tell it immediately. And I don't think they're capable of doing that. And I have an idea as to why that is. I think the same people that were pressuring Charlie are pressuring them. In fact, I know that for a fact. So they might need my help, okay? I'm going to state this, and I'm going to challenge Turning Point USA executives.
All right, he's just watching this whole thing. Same thing you see. This whole thing, like Jimmy sees things and they're just like, huh?
Had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright. Okay, Charlie's done. He said it explicitly that he refused to be bullied anymore by the Jewish donors. Can you guys answer? Did he express that?
Jimmy looks like he's trying to hold in a turtle.
Did he also express that he wanted to bring me, Candace Owens back?
What Candace said?
Because he was standing up for himself. And then did he, just 48 hours later, conveniently catch a bullet to the throat before our onstage reunion could happen.
Whoa. Let me just give you a whoa. That's a WHOA exclamation. Whoa.
Great. That's what I come here for, is the breakdown, the commentary, the understanding of the intricacies. I didn't realize your job could be done by a fucking Joey Lawrence impersonator.
Well, Candace, we don't know if he caught a bullet to the throat because no autopsy was done.
No, they did. They did do an autopsy, but they're not releasing it. That's what I've read. That's what Grok tells me. But they're not.
There's a recording of a guy saying there was no autopsy. You haven't seen that? I thought she played it.
Oh, maybe she did. So maybe I'm getting conflicting stories. But I was.
Really? With Kurt on the air? You're getting conflicting stories? How's that possible?
Told there was, because it's by law you have to do one.
That's right. That's why it would be really bad to not do one.
Yeah.
And on the recording of the people taking his body out, it says, see, I don't really trust Grog, by the way. I don't want anyone to trust an AI.
I know. But they also, did you know this? They also, but I don't want to get off topic, but they didn't take him to the closest hospital with a trauma center. They took him to a faraway hospital that doesn't have the necessary stuff to treat. Did you know that? And that the guy who was the head of that hospital had just been. But anyway, there's lots. So many. Did you know that Kash Patel fired the FBI directors in Utah a couple of weeks before this happened? There's so many shady things that happen. But there she is saying that Charlie Kirk had come out and said that he was done with Israel, and it was because of the Jewish.
The rumor of no autopsy stems from a widely circulated clip of Utah police dispatch audio from that day where a dispatcher is heard saying he did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by a doctor at the hospital. This audio has been misinterpreted online, particularly on X, where it's been shared thousands of times to suggest a cover-up. Utah law, the code 2646, mandating autopsies in homicide cases is if requested by the prosecutor or deemed necessary by the medical examiner. However, Utah authorities and the Utah Office of Medical Examiner have clarified that the dispatch comment referred to skipping redundant post-hospital transport procedures for the body. Example, no need to move it to a separate morgue for initial processing since it was already at a medical facility. A full forensic autopsy was performed by the state medical examiner's office within 24 hours. Preliminary findings released to support the first-degree murder charge against suspect Tyler Robinson confirmed the cause was a penetrating gunshot wound leading to exsanguination and cardiorespiratory failure, and with the manner ruled homicide. Toxicology was negative for drugs or alcohol, and the bullet was recovered lodged in the neck with no exit wound. The full autopsy report remains confidential pending the ongoing investigation, but its existence and key details have been affirmed in court filings and official statements from the Utah County Sheriff's Office and the FBI. Conspiracy claims persist on social media, but they contradict verified reporting from sources like CNN, Fox, and the BBC, as well as the state's legal requirements for such a high-profile homicide. Robinson faces the death penalty if convicted, and the case relies on evidence including surveillance video, DNA from the scene, and witness accounts, notably the autopsy's wound analysis. Like, you can't get the fucking death penalty without it.
Donors. And
I saw John saying it was the Mormons and not. No, the Mormons are there, dear, but they're not the.
He's challenging them. So she's challenging them to deny this. Did this happen? Yes or no? Deny it. I'm saying it happened. So she's got him, and she goes.
Or they could just not talk to her because she's a fucking asshole. Like they're like, people are not responsible for like chasing down every like nutcase on the internet that throws a conspiracy their way. Like Madam Valve is not giving a good reason for people to go, we've got to address, like we from the National Valve Institute have got to address this before people, come out against our heart valve replacement surgery thinking it's a Jewish conspiracy to make people's hearts beat slower from Friday sundown to Saturday.
Hang on, she keeps going.
Yes or a no?
Yes or no?
Let's stop this ditching. Let's stop the dodge.
Yes or no? Just say the thing.
What's like explicitly, I want to hear from Turning Point USA that I'm lying about that. I want you to say no. It was just, he was feeling a little bit of pressure. No, I want you to literally answer what I have just said. It either happened or it didn't. I'm either making it all up or it happened exactly as I'm saying. And while we're at it,
or people told you some shit and you're taking more weight from it than it actually matters, and it wasn't as big a deal there. and it seems kind of murky and fucked up, and they're not interested in getting on the bad side of every Jewish person in the country by chasing down this argument that may have been had about how far to go in support of Israel and all this kind of stuff amongst the crowd of right-wingers. So they just decided to move past it because the dude's fucking dead. Like, this is me being charitable with the TPUSA people and Charlie's fucking family in all this, you cretin.
May I ask, what is the name of the Jewish donor who sponsored the Hamptons weekend? Okay. And to Pastor Rob McCoy, were there any LLCs that you or your son were being paid through that sat outside of Turning Point? I'm asking that question genuinely. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. None of you guys are behaving in the way that...
I like Jimmy's whole like detail. Did you just hear what I? It's I think it's the essence of the show to me. I mean, that's enough for tonight. You guys get the point, and just this fucking head. Yes, the record scratch every time he looks up. And where is it? Where like. Whoa. Every single time, like he just watches videos. Huh? Look at this. Huh? You seen this on the thing on the TV there? Huh? They turned on the TV and look what happened. You know, watch. Here comes the part. Here comes the part I'm telling you about. Huh? Look at that. It happened. I forgot to button my shirt. The Timu Hawk podcast. Scooby-Doo. Yeah. Sorry if the record scratch is too loud. I'll cut it back a little bit. I gotta say, like, in the middle of all this, government shutdown, Trump, vilifying every immigrant in the entire country, rounding people the fuck up, that you would think that his supporters in many ways would feel, elated that allegedly what they voted for, what they wanted to happen, is all happening. Now, the results of what's happening is not what they said. Obviously, there aren't 25 million fucking illegals running around the country. There just aren't. So they're like, we got 30 of them. We got 20 here. We got 10 here. You're like, yeah, motherfucker. There's about 10 million people undocumented in the country at any given time. You'll be able to round up 100,000 of them a year. And you could make news stories out of, dozens of times a day if you want to. It's not going to change the numbers at all. And so this idea that you're getting millions of people out of the country is just horseshit. And so they can't address that. They can't go, I was bullshitted and he weaponized my low-res racism that's always bubbling below the surface, or my own bigotry towards strangers or the other. He used that to get into office so he could pad his pockets with fucking, Bitcoin and real estate deals and shit like that and favors to foreign countries. So I can't face that. So what's the other option? Chew the shit out of everybody on their side about rando conspiracies about Charlie Kirk's death and the Epstein files. That's it. That's all they got. And I'm here for it. I am so fucking tired of hearing that Democrats aren't doing anything when the electorate took all the power for them to do anything out of their hands. And while they are, when I saw somebody on fucking MSNBC going, what the Democrats need to do is come out and say this, this, and this. And like, they literally had just played a clip of Jeffries saying exactly that. The Democrats on the steps of the Capitol saying exactly that. And then they have a pundit come out and go, I don't know why Democrats aren't doing this and this and this. Like, they're doing exactly that. But that's all they can fucking do until we get off our ass and vote a bunch of them back into office. Meanwhile, the other story they tell you is that, oh my God, the messaging, Trump's so good at messaging and he's got control of all these things and he can just, snap his fingers and all these maggots will do whatever he says because they're all united and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's not even going to be elections next year because maggots will just do whatever the fuck he says. And meanwhile, every fucking day, I'm showing you and I'm pointing out that even the media maggots can't keep it together. They are eating each other alive. Like, it's all Bernie bro all the time on their side right now. In 10 different fucking directions. And they can't even, it's one thing to go, on the Democratic side, there was this one big fight about, like, Medicare for all or not. Public option over Medicare for all or not. Or whether you can even get it passed. And there was a genuine fight about that. And Medicare for all became like a hammer that Bernie bro types would hammer what they would call like centrist or conservative Democrats, and that's why the party can't get anything done and blah blah blah. And they're always trying to stop it. Never mind the fact that they couldn't get reelected in their district if they did it, and there's no guarantee it would have worked for that. Like the real process back and forth of like trying to actually get there, which is a multi-stage process where you have to like work on it and set it up for long periods of time. Now, one election's never going to fucking solve it, and you have to keep a coalition together for several cycles to get something like that done. But at least it was distinct. Medicare for all or fuck you, right? There was a fight there, and you could kind of figure it out. It was a stupid fight, but it was a fight, right? Meanwhile, on the Republican side, I just showed you, there's like 8 different fucking ways these people think there's a conspiracy around Charlie Kirk's death. And none of them can agree on which one it is and who's to blame. And they all of their conspiracy theories, no matter what they are, they all lead inexorably to the White House. Eventually, if you follow those storylines to their inevitable conclusion, they go to the White House. There's no like, aha, Chuck Schumer's been behind the whole thing because he secretly in the Senate pulls the strings on the national security. None of it. Like, it goes straight to the fucking White House. It goes straight to the Department of Justice and them. It like they're the last people in line and the first person responsible for all of it. So any of the ways that they do it, whether it's Big Valve, or whether it's the fucking FBI's relation to the ADL, or whether it's fucking, Zionists like she thinks inside the government that have control over it, it all leads to Trump and Kushner want Trump Plaza Gaza, and this is all part of a big money-making scheme for them, and the control point that the ADL's had forever, whatever. Like that, if you believe, whatever it is, whatever Candace Owens believes, it's all at Trump's feet. There's nowhere else it can go. And they get it every day, no matter what they think caused any of this shit. Whether it's the fucking, just an FBI conspiracy to cover their own ass. It still is agreed upon by the leadership. It still can't stand on its own. It's still not like, oh, okay, so just some low-level people are to blame. They're doing this, and Kash Patel had no fucking idea. Pam Bondi had no idea. It doesn't work that way. It can't work that way. So my thing is do I believe many of their fucking ridiculous theories? No, I don't. But I hope they keep digging, because they're never going to like what they find. Because whatever reason they're being bullshitted, it's because Trump wants it that way. And I desperately want them to reach that conclusion. I'm not holding out hope that they will. And I think most of the time they're going to be they're going to blow off any reason and just keep fighting with each other, which is also fine, I guess. But, like, I'm sick and tired of this idea that, like, the Democrats are scattered and aren't doing anything, and the Republicans have it all together, and they're getting everything they want, and everything Trump tries, he gets away with it. And the Supreme Court just hands him everything, and he's not. And even when they do hand him some shit, it's stuff that the right gets freaked out about. And again, if there's ever a crack in your enemy's wall, you have a moral responsibility to walk up to it with a crowbar and start wiggling it back and forth. Jam it in the gap and start wiggling it back and forth. And so I will not play this stupid fucking game that they've got it together and we don't. I got it together. I got it together. Get used to the idea. You guys got it together. Hit the like. Share the show. You're the last guy standing on this internet hill, but I'll be here. See you guys tomorrow.
Promises made, they rot in the air. A handshake, a lie, a blank, cold stare. Puppets dance, the strings are tight. Shadows whisper in the dead of night. This is some bullshit.